Welcome, everybody, to the third episode of Content Clubhouse. I mean, there's been more episodes. It was FlexCast before, as you guys know, but we are now Content Clubhouse. And for my third guest, I have none other than the Buster himself, Roostie. Now, for everybody who's going to end up watching this on YouTube, the people who are going to see it live, I've known Roostie for a very, very long time. He's one of those people I've known in content creation for so many years to come, and so many years past and so many years to come. And he's one of the people I've been hunting down for this podcast for a couple of weeks. I'll tell you, I've been gearing to get him on one just because there's people I feel like I jive with, and Roostie's absolutely one of them. It goes without saying. Roostie, how are you today, brother?
Incredible, bro. And an incredible intro. I think you are setting these people up for someone that I got a lot to live up to now. So, but I'm excited. I'm doing great, bro. It was a good day. This has been a long time coming because I know you've had this, in production, and we've had conversations about doing other projects, and it's cool to just finally be able to sit down and smoosh on you for a second.
Absolutely, dude. I was super hyped about this, man. The thing that I like about this podcast a lot is you can know somebody so deeply. You can meet them personally, or you could in just different ways. But this podcast just allows me kind of a window, and especially not just me, the viewers and people who are in your community, a window into a lot of your life that they might not get, stories and things that they're just not going to find in stream. So I'm very excited to start digging into that, man. For everyone who has never watched this before, Content Clubhouse is a podcast where we interview other content creators of all sizes. The first portion is going to be 5 questions that I ask everybody. They're the same 5 questions every time. And the whole purpose of those 5 questions is just to really get to the nitty-gritty of the person. The second segment is going to be questions tailored to that person, things that I might know about them or things that they might want to talk about a bit more just for some exposure. And the final portion is open dialogue. That's when we speak to chat. That's when you guys can ask any questions you want to ask. We're both going to address it. Doesn't even have to be about the podcast. It could be about anything. It's just going to be an open forum after all the quote unquote stressful part's done. But yeah, so any questions or anything before we get jumping in?
Sure do. What'd you eat today?
Ooh, you're going to be kind of disappointed in me. Today was one of those days where we just 3-pieced a Chipotle burrito throughout it. This morning I woke up and I took Liv to work because we ended up getting her a car. She got a new car today, which is awesome. Shout out Liv and her new car. And after that, I got a burrito, double chicken, double rice, just a big fat burrito, and just that was breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
God damn, you were just munching all day.
I love it. Dude, it feels good. I feel like a gerbil, man, just on the top of that thing. That's awesome.
I love that. That's a good choice because those things are fat, so they got potential to last all day, like you say.
Only when you get them in store. I feel like when you do the order online, man, they're like, oh, this guy ordered online 2 pinto beans, 2 grains of rice. Oh, it's so real.
Have you ordered on really?
Dude, so real. They don't care about you at all. No value.
I've seen those videos lately, and they're like, what the fuck is going on with my online order? And they show it's like all of the shit is like on one side of the bowl.
Now they cheap you out. And those burritos have been going up in price too. I mean, you used to be able to go into Chipotle and slide for $7, and now you're paying like $12.50 or something just for a burrito out the door. It's insane.
What the hell is that?
Who has money for this? I know it's not like they're working faster. I'm waiting the same time in line. The chicken's not any protein or like.
Getting half the food. Getting half the food.
It's sad. It's sad. Technology has spoiled us and taken away from us, unfortunately. Well, it's not my first 5 questions, but since you asked me, I'm gonna put it right back on you, man. What do we get today? What's the food?
Let's see. Had a little bit of yogurt for breakfast. Oh, so I was in the office today. I have to go to the office once a week to handle the IRL stuff.
Okay.
And, so we got a couple food truck options.
Ooh. Okay.
Pick a new one that's called Spaghetti Shack, and I order spaghetti with the garlic bread.
That's dangerous.
I'm thinking it's got potential.
Food truck spaghetti? That's a dangerous game.
Okay. I just thought it was unique. Let's try it. And it looked pretty decent. I got a good picture that makes me look like I know a thing or two about photography, surprisingly. And it just was exactly what you would expected. It was a food truck spaghetti. Nothing special. I ate it.
I respect that.
I ain't going back. I'll tell you that.
Dude, food truck.
I'm gonna recommend my friends.
That scares me. Food truck spaghetti just sounds like the kind of. That sounds like the idea that two guys have maybe a little bit too many drinks in, and they're pretty committed already at that point. They like already put the down payment when they were still kind of hungover on the food truck, and now they're already invested.
And I fell for it.
I'll see if we can get that picture from you in post, put it up on the screen here so everyone sees the food truck spaghetti, so we can see if it actually is. It looks better than it is.
It really had potential too, because it had the oregano and whatnot on top. So I was like, oh damn, okay, hold on. And
they sell it. You know, I think that some of those places put garlic in their vents, so when it like goes out, smells. The air smells great. It's like they get you with the smell.
Explanation, bro. That's the only explanation.
Boy, got the ragu from yesterday. I feel so terrible.
It's probably not even ragu. It's a great value.
Well, I'm going to jump off this. I say we go ahead and get this ball rolling, jump into these 5 questions so we can get through them. Because, you know, as this goes on, the more that I've done these, as much as I enjoy these 5 questions, they're phenomenal and they dig into a lot. That second portion where I can just start asking the fun questions, that's when it starts getting a little wild. So let's jump in with question number 1 of the first 5 questions. And this one's a real easy question, just a softball. What got you into gaming in the first place? Thank God for editing software. Are we good, Prince? Everything's fine? We're good? Okay. Everything's great.
Coming in? Okay.
All right, cool. So let's take it from the top. So my first time asking you this question here, Roos. What got you into gaming in the first place, man? We were talking about the early Segas. That's where we left off.
Yeah, so I was going to say it started with the 64, but I remember having a Sega Genesis and playing Sonic with my dad. My dad wasn't much of a gamer, but I don't know, he like one day just came home with the Sega. I don't remember ever asking for a 64. We somehow got one. I do remember randomly, I think he said he got it from work. I don't know where he got it from because that guy's a hooligan. But one day he came home with a PlayStation 2 and it was like Christmas in July. Just, you know, randomly a PlayStation falls out the sky. So
you gotta ask questions with that.
so if I had to say where it started, I remember having a Game Boy. I remember having the Genesis, but really, like for me, I think it was a 64 because like getting to play Smash, getting to play GoldenEye, you know, all the Mario Kart, all the classics, bro. Like the 64 has to be the greatest gaming console of all time. Has to. It
definitely goes down in history for sure. It's one of those ones that I think has touched so many lives everywhere because, you know, remember, obviously you're talking like a Nintendo product. So that was massive overseas. So it was already a hit there before it came here. So it seemed like once the 64 kind of got here, it was like everyone's childhood for a small moment, at least like a glimpse in time.
I can just think of like so many moments and like nights where you and the boys are just sitting around. It's like, all right, it's Smash time. And then you look at the clock and you got 10 missed calls from mom saying, where the hell are you? I'm picking your ass up. And it's like, hold on, mom, I'm Kirbying right now. You know, I'm so I don't know. 64 got a real special place in my heart.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So I think that's actually a really good launching point. I think that makes sense, like chronologically, as far as like where the gaming might start. So then I guess one thing I would want to branch off then to maybe pin that down a bit more specifically, you know, for everybody. What would you say the first game that you took seriously was? You know, I know you mentioned Smash, so if it's Smash, that's fine. But, you know, where do you think maybe you were like, you put some hours into a game for the first time? Like, I really want to get better at this.
This is going to be a silly answer, but probably Fortnite, and it's only silly because I'm so ass. I can think of mornings just sitting around being like, you know what? I got 15 minutes. Let me hop on Kovacs and let me work on my shit. And then I jump in the game and I miss every damn shot. Like, you know, like it doesn't make any sense. So, Fortnite was the first game I was like, damn, this should. So, I feel like. It's a great question. Great host. This is a great host, by the way.
Wow, thank you, man. I'm smiling already.
So Fortnite was the first, like, how do I say this? Game, activity, whatever, that it finally hit me that you you can be good at anything that you want to. Anything is possible, but you have to grind. Like you have to put in the time, and you have to be consistent, and you have to do it. There's no
Absolutely.
shortcuts. There's no nothing. And I've been a competitive person my whole life. I played basketball, I played sports, and I've known that, like people have told me like, hey, you can be as good as you want. You can be as good as you want. But I feel like it wasn't until like I saw Fortnite, I saw tournaments, I started playing, that I realized like what that meant. That it's not,
Yeah.
going after something isn't, oh, I got 10 minutes of spare time, let me do a little Kovacs. Or it's not, I'm sitting around. I mean, it's dedicating yourself. It's making a conscious effort to go after something.
Absolutely.
And that's that. So Fortnite has a special place in my heart, despite how trash I am, just because it was that game that I kind of got to look at pros for the first, professional gamers for the first time, and just realizing what it took for them to be as successful as they are.
100%. Yeah, I think Fortnite. Fortnite was cool because that's around when I met you. That's around when I think a lot of people kind of really started to be like, holy shit, because it transcended. It was no longer like
Right.
the thing that a few people who played World of Warcraft did. Like they got on, they played games online or whatever, or like like the PewDiePies and Moist Criticals. But now it was like there was like bros who were playing Fortnite
Right.
and making good money, and there was like so
These are
much of a
guys just like
difference.
you and me.
Yeah, it'd be your boss. It'd be your boss at work. Hey, we gonna drop? Where are we dropping today? And it was very weird. It transcended that line where people stopped looking at themselves like, oh, this is my job and this is my enjoyment. To wait, you could do both. You could do both.
Truly.
So I'm with you on that. So then that's interesting because that's like that's a narrative I feel a lot of people have kind of stated. Like when it really started to hit that game revolution of kind of like the Fortnite, Warzone, Apex, maybe you would consider it like the Battle Royale era. That was when like a lot of people kind of transition into a different sort of gaming. That's not to say that that's what draws you in. In fact, I think anyone who's watched your content knows that you're somebody who kind of has this large variety. You kind of just play what you enjoy. So, if you could kind of either, I guess you can answer this question one of two ways. If you'd rather go option A, would you rather, if you could make a game, right? Any kind of game, and it would be your perfect game, like the game that you would play forever, the game that you would want to advertise and put your name on, what would that game look like to you? Would it be an FPS? Would it be a battle royale? How would it tie into content creation? Like, what would that be? Or if you're not really feeling that in depth, what just kind of draws you to a game? What are the traits of a game that make you feel like, this is something I want to start sitting down and digging into?
So because I played Fortnite as much as I did and streamed as much as I did, all my buddies, when a shooter comes out, they're like, "Yo, bro, let's play it." Like, what's the new Roblox shooter that's out now? It's super popular.
BattleBit, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, "Yo, dude, you have to play this, bro. It's so fun." I don't know. Like, I'm down for a shooter, but that's not what attracted me to Fortnite, I don't think.
Yeah.
When I think like what made Fortnite so fun is that it was just so unique. Like I have very, very vivid memories playing with my buddy for the first time, maybe second time, whatever. And we're running around, and I was like, "Yo, we just died." I was like, "Yo, bro, next game, let's try to put up a ramp. Let's." And so the concept of like, yo, we can put up walls and shit in the shooter, and we can build and we can navigate. Like, let's try to learn that. And I can remember, thinking about what I can do now and how I can build and shit. Like, hey, bro, let's put up a ramp. Like next game, let's make that our goal. Let's try to. So,
oh my god, the ramp wall was once you got the wall in the ramp, bro. You could just do those two all the way up to 80 feet.
You're cooking. You're cooking with Crisco at that point. Yeah. So it was that. It was just like it wasn't just a shooter anymore. It was a different, a new, I don't know, concept. I want to say, and I guess it was my first experience with battle royales. So that was kind of a cool jumping into type of thing. But so I'm getting sidetracked, but
yeah,
my perfect game wouldn't be a shooter, I don't think. I don't know, because I like a little bit about everything. Like I like the uniqueness of the Fortnite. I like when it comes to these cartoon fighters like multiverses and brawl. Like I like that it's you versus somebody else, and it's on me to figure out the right moves to make and to be patient and when to be patient, things like that. Um, I grew up on Neopets, bro, like on the forums and chatting with shit. So like I miss that. Like I miss having shit that you can collect, like avatars and things. So
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think I could create the perfect game, because it would just be so, you'd have to
All
have
over the place.
ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to have something. So, but it might be fun. It'd be fun for me. It'd be a different game every time you fire it up.
I think you make a really good point. So somebody actually, somebody before who I actually spoke to, kind of said something very similar. And I definitely agree with one of those very large aspects of that, which is I love personal autonomy in competitive situations. I like knowing that if I did good or I fucked up, it's on me, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's no more personal autonomy than a competitive gaming situation. Like maybe like a Call of Duty gunfight where it's just 2v2 or 1v1, and it's like if you lose, it's because you suck, right? Like compared to that person, relative. So I definitely agree with you there. And as somebody who has spent probably more time than I'm willing to admit on this, on those old browser sites, the three that I used probably the most were Urban Rivals, Gaia Online, and IMVU back in the days. But there was also the Adventure Quest and a couple of other ones, Homestar Runner and stuff, like the Neopets. But to that avail, Gaia Online had that exact same thing where you could, just by playing and being online, you unlocked items and collectibles, and your avatar looked sick, and you'd go into a chat room and some guy had a sick avatar. You're like, that, how'd you get those wings? And he's like, oh, you gotta do the secret. And that shit's so cool. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, there's just this fun little, this trinket thing. This like, I might never even wear this, but I got it.
I loved, so there was a thing on Neopets where there was a thing called, I think he was the Paint Devil, maybe the Pant Devil. He had a goofy name. Anyways, so as you're navigating throughout the site, it can be a random event. Like it's probably like a 0.5% chance or whatever that this dude comes and he could steal something from you. He could give you something. He could give you an avatar. And it didn't happen, obviously, very often because of the odds. But like that, just knowing that something could potentially happen, and while you're achieving something else, like that aspect was just so fun to me. So yeah, I don't think we can replicate it.
I might have to pull your ear later about Diablo, but that's a different conversation. I don't know. I mean, the PvP's there, the item collecting. Anyway, that's a different conversation. I might just be shilling for Diablo. But okay, no, I think that's a perfect response. So, I think that's a really good segue into question number 2, because I think, kind of what you mentioned about Fortnite, it really does go hand in hand, because that same time that a lot of people ran into Fortnite and similar games was kind of a big content revolution. So question number 2 is really, really simple. What made you press go live for the first time?
I don't know. I think I'm just a goofy dude that likes to make people laugh and likes to entertain. I had a point in my life where I was a semi-pro magician. So I would
really?
I would go to birthdays.
Birthdays want that much? Oh
bro,
my God.
Bro, I'd go to birthdays, I'd go to like weddings, you name it, bro. Like if they wanted a magician there, like bachelor pads and whatever
this
it was.
Is incredible to know.
So there's just like I had a period in my time where I really like to do Etch-a-Sketch, even though I have no artistic ability whatsoever. But I just like doing this shit and like, yo, bro, check this out, just to like have someone be like, oh wow, that's cool. Like, try to make their day a little better. So I spend too much time on this damn Twitch television site just watching who knows who, because everybody's entertaining in one way or another, I feel.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't know, I just thought maybe, hey, I'm gonna fire up one day. Let's see what happens. Maybe I can make someone laugh. Maybe someone's gonna kill me and come to the stream and talk shit and make themselves feel better. I don't know.
Yeah.
but end of the day, I just thought, I'm gonna because so many people provide that type of entertainment for me and are, like
Yeah.
going live and they're doing a thing, like why maybe I can do that for somebody else. So fire it up and here we are.
I think it's weird because it's the most like cocky, but also most insecure decision to press go live for the first time. Cause it's like, you think like, well, I could do that. Right.
Yeah.
And then you see that red 0 for 5 hours and you're like,
hold on, maybe I can't.
What am I doing wrong? I press go live. I'm playing a game. Where are the viewers?
Why are they not watching me? Yeah.
So I definitely know how you feel about that. And you already mentioned it, so that goes right into my segue here. Who would you say maybe some of the creators in the early days before you actually went live, who did you watch back then that you were like, oh man, I really like this? And maybe, who do you like now as opposed to maybe then?
The first streamer I can remember watching was PewDiePie back when he was playing League professionally and doing that thing. And he still streams as often. I don't watch him as much anymore for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But he just, I don't know, he just was so naturally funny, and dude just made it's hard to describe, but there's those people out there that just make normal shit funny and fun to be a part of. And the dude was just playing the same League of Legends that I was playing, and clicking the same buttons and clicking the same shit, and just and having fun, making it funny. So he definitely was someone that I strive to have that same type of vibe. And I just knew every time that I was going to pull him up that I could just kick back and, forget about if you're worrying about shit or if you, just got time to kill. It was just, the vibe for me. And recently, I don't know. I've been watching. It just really depends on the game, or like depending on the mood. When I get into a game, so when I was super into multiverses, like I was watching everybody that would stream that because just wanted to get better and see what they were doing. But
yeah, I love the Multiverses release. Side note, I want to talk more about it, but man, I fucking loved when that game came out. I played it excessively. I was a Finn main. It was disgusting. The backpack update was just disgusting. Yeah, crazy. I know, dude. I loved it.
Crazy.
But continue. I'm sorry. I just want to throw that in.
No, you're fine. I really like these cooking streams. You ever seen these people that are like doing they're streaming them in like the kitchen and whatnot?
No, I've done one, but I've never watched one.
Yeah, there's a couple. I think Hungry is one that's on pretty often, and it's just different shows, like old school cooking shows. So it's like a 24/7, yeah, like Food Network type of deal. I like that. But I also just click the cooking category and see if anybody's vibing in the kitchen. I'll come through, see what you cook. I'm a big food guy. I like to know what you ate. So I like to know what you cooked. So
yeah. I've noticed that, man. I wanted to touch upon something because you talked about your favorite creators, and you kind of mentioned how at that time watching a lot of those people were kind of what got you through some of the worst times. And I think that's really awesome because that's a really good driving force that a lot of people don't understand. But it made me want to segue into something kind of to tap onto that, which is that it really sucks that as creators, and anyone who's a creator is watching this, and I'm sure you can agree with me, it's a really difficult thing that you can't see that in yourself when other people can. It's almost like if you could, you would feel better about hitting live because you'd be like, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the guy who just goes up and makes everyone laugh. But what a lot of people don't see in the grand scheme of things is that guy has how many hundreds of viewers, right? So how much does he have to feed off of? How many, you know what I mean? Like, he might seem like the funniest dude, but he's getting fed 100 funny prompts an hour, and he's just kind of working with what he has. Mm-hmm. When you're looking at a donut and you have to be funny for 4 hours, that is fucking tough. It's a lot harder. And I think a lot of people underestimate how hard that is. Having maybe a lower number than you'd expect, or, you put a lot into this content, it just didn't get the numbers, but you still got to be that guy who makes people laugh. You got to smile through that.
And we love everybody that comes through, the lurkers, the chatters, whatever. But I don't think the chatters realize just how important having someone there to just go back and forth, just vibe. We don't have to talk about anything important. We could be playing Diablo, talking about sheep, something completely unrelated, and it just goes. It helps make things flow. It helps make things fun. It creates windows for us, me and them, to get to know each other. And so, I mean, there's a time and place, of course. Like, I watch a lot from work, and I can't talk 24/7, or I got a friend up and I'm out running errands, so I'm gonna lurk your page to give you a viewer. But if you have the opportunity even to chat every few minutes, it just makes things so much more fluid and fun, and it just helps a lot. And I don't think that they realize the impact that they have, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a dangerous. So this is actually something I can speak on a little bit more, because I'm experiencing this now, and I've already talked about this on stream. I've admitted it kind of live, but I took a very large. Most of my content creation career, I never watched streams, right? Now, this is very antithetical, because before I started content creation, I only watched streams. I used to watch Bajira, I used to watch Wreckful, I used to watch Asmongold, mostly World of Warcraft people. I used to watch Hodded, so did Poppins. People played World of Warcraft, and they did the same thing for me that you had mentioned earlier. They were just that piece throughout your day. Like, you put them on and things were just better, right? Even if you couldn't play the game, if you weren't as good as them, here's somebody who was doing it and you could be a part of the journey a little bit. And so that was really fun. I think that you're absolutely right in that the people who are in chat don't understand how important it is. And me having now gotten back into watching streams and trying to engage with them, it feels awkward to be a chatter sometimes, because you almost feel like maybe sometimes you're stepping on somebody's show, or you're kind of like maybe throwing a curveball. You write something and they read it the wrong way. They don't necessarily get it. And all those can make it feel awkward. But trust me when I say, like, I'd rather you just put anything, just like anything sometimes. If you want to lurk, that's cool. Lurk, enjoy the lurk. Like, don't feel any pressure, right? But if you're going to chat, never feel embarrassed. Put anything in there, and I promise you it's going to help me out. Almost anything.
And it's, I mean, you couldn't have said it better, because it could be completely dead. I got a guy that comes to my stream almost every single day. His name's Travis. He's my most loyal little homie. He's been around forever. I can guarantee Travis is going to be there. And Travis can not even say anything and just put an X in the chat for whatever reason. And we'll run with it. Well, Travis, what did you mean by the X? Did you find a treasure map? Now we're talking about pirates. Now we're talking,
yes.
You can put literally anything into that chat. And it's kind of on the creator to
for sure
what they want with it. But I mean, at least you're giving them, you're throwing out the bait, and
absolutely.
And I'm gonna bite it. I'm gonna bite that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Agree.
That's a good point. It's not universal. Everyone has their own way of content creation, right? Some people are just so damn good at a game they never even have to look at their chat. Some people only talk to chat. They only do just chatting. They don't even play a game. So, it really just depends. But I think that, you and I are part of, I would consider this new age way of creation, which is more than just the game, right? There's this point in every Twitch streamer's career where they have to be like, I'm either good enough to keep playing this game, or I'm either funny enough to suck at it, but I can't be both. Like, I can't suck at the game and not be funny, because then it's just like, you have to ask that question and beg the question, why are people watching me, or why are they not watching me? And really get to that quickly. It's a really quick thing creators should come to.
And listen, if I could be good enough at a game to just play that,
oh God, how nice would that be?
that might be something I consider.
I'll just pull out a shroud. Hi, how are you guys? Hi. Today we're gonna be playing Valorant. I will talk to you in 4 hours.
You think they even open it, bro?
He just has a mob text him every 5 minutes. Like the thing that most people looked at, they look over and they're like, oh yeah, thanks for the 100, man. Yeah.
This dude with $1,000 donation, appreciate it. What did that just drop? I was like, bro, that's $1,000.
$1,000. Yeah, great, man. Congrats or whatever. Yeah. Nah.
Flex with the 55 months, appreciate it, bro. All right, where were we? 55 months, bro. What?
I fucking love that. Well, to wrap this one up, I'll wrap up question number 2 with one final button. This one's always a funny one. First stream compared to most recent stream, right? How did the first one look? How did the first couple of streams go? What were you playing? What was going on? And what would you say one of your favorite things you've learned since then has been?
God, I was so bad. I mean, I'm nothing now, but I was so bad, bro. So I can remember going. It was probably like weeks after I did the first one. I was like, you know what? Like, let me go back. What am I producing here, bro? I had a setup like this, had a snowball or whatever. I had the wrong mic. I was talking to the webcam, so shit sounded so bad. As you know, my fucking quality was horrible. I had no filters. I had no nothing, bro. Like I literally was just like, oh, webcam, setup, mic, setup, game, setup,
plugged in, done.
Go. So, looking back, yeah, I would like to think I've made a little bit of an improvement.
Yeah,
I would like to think that things are a little more put together, but I can't say the same about myself. so the stream might look a little better, but you still got the same clown.
Dude, I think the bones are good, man. I think the bones are good. Honestly, the only thing you could probably increase ever would be quality, because the content's perfect, man. You got nothing to be worried about as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, stop.
So let's move into question number 3 then. And this one I think is a bit more viable to you and me. And I like asking people who are around the same age as me this question, because I think it always adds a bevy of answers. And it helps out content creators, who are experiencing this themselves and maybe have a bit of, confusion for kind of how they deal with this on a day-to-day basis. But it's pretty broad. So I'll try to tailor in a little bit as soon as I ask it. How does streaming and relationships work for you? Now, relationships obviously immediately goes to like girlfriend-wife situation, right? But I mean, just like in general, do you tell people at work that you stream? Do you tell family that you stream? Is it something that you kind of just keep private because it's embarrassing and you just like to, keep that side of you separate? Or is it something that you're like, everybody come watch my stream, like anyone who I can get in? Where do you land on that spectrum?
So not everybody knows. And
okay.
I'm not necessarily embarrassed, but so I'm married. I've been married for almost, I think, 9 years, 10 years. It's been a little while, but I'm not trying to have like
wish I met you before.
Tune in.
I would have snuck in there quick, bro.
I'm not like, my in-laws know I stream, but I'm not trying to be like, hey, yo, you trying to watch some cartoon fighter action tonight? Tune in. You know what I'm saying? Like they, I think they got more important shit to worry about. It's kind of tough. I mean, I really think it depends. I shouldn't say tough. That's not the right word. It's an interesting.
Tough, yeah.
It can be, but it's an interesting dynamic because, as I mentioned earlier, consistency is key. So I don't think anybody that wants to make this streaming a career, whatever word you want, I don't think if anybody goes into it without the mindset that they're going to be consistent, they're going to put time into this, they're going to, the grind. They're not going to build anything. It's just the way it is.
I want to throw one footnote in there really quickly, just one footnote, sure. Because I do have one counterpoint to that. I believe that you can beat that stigma if your content is really good. And the example I'll give to that is there are some people who do a lot of YouTube videos and they'll only release once every 2 months. But that video drops and it gets 20 mil immediately, right? It's just a banger.
No, that's fair.
And then they live a month and they don't do anything. And then they spend a month creating a video and then they release a banger. So I think there is one way to break that. But for Twitch, much harder to do live streaming without consistency.
No, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
100% fair point. And so if you're not exceptional, which a lot of us aren't, if you're not out there, if people can't see you, and if you're not, you only have a favorite person at your Walmart because you see him consistently, they didn't just become that way overnight. So but at the same time, you only have 24 hours in your day and you spend hopefully 6 to 8 of them sleeping, so there goes a third of that, and then you're going to spend another 6 to 8 of that working, so there goes another third of that, and we're down to a third of our day. So how do we balance spending a third of our day with spending that time with our spouse or our partner or whatever?
Ain't that the fucking truth, man?
It's a tough balance, but I think I mean, communication is huge. Obviously, you have to be on the same page about what you're trying to accomplish, and that it's, not necessarily you're trying to neglect them or not spend time with them, but it's not possible to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be honest, we definitely have had times, like, oh, well, why aren't we spending more time? Why aren't we doing this or that? And
Absolutely.
just, explaining, hey, this isn't something that, if I want to be what I think I can be, then I just got to stay on this road. So, but luckily I have a partner that understands and is willing to work with me and, gets it. At the same time, they don't get it, if that makes sense, like they do their best to understand
I do know.
what goes into it. Although they, yeah,
Uniquely, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, I mean, like, you're a team at the end of the day. So we, come together, we figure things out, we discuss what's not working, discuss what is working, and we go from there. But at the end of the day,
that's massive.
We're building this for each other, Yeah, this isn't just for me. I'm building this to hopefully provide for both of us and continue moving forward. So I think it's something that just has to be discussed and talked about, really.
Yeah. You touched upon a lot of really good points there that I think, for anyone listening, I think it'll be really important to hear because, a good example today, right? Liv went to pick up her new car. Mm-hmm. She worked until 5. She did not have a ride there. She had to get back, right? She had to get to the dealership, do all the paperwork, get her car, get back home, right? I was in charge of helping her. That's what you do as a partner, this communication. I have a podcast at 8. She doesn't finish signing papers until 7:15. And, we have to have a conversation of like, here's a big moment for you. And here's a podcast that might go nowhere, right? Or it might be massive. Who knows, right? You never know when your moment's going to be. And so you have to have these communication points where it's like, hey, as adults, we want to be there for everyone as much as possible. But as somebody who's pursuing a creative goal, and you hear this with people who do stand-up comedy, people who do acting, right? It has to be all or nothing. It has, in its own way. It doesn't mean that you have to give up all of your hours of every day. But the hours that you do give to it have to be all or nothing hours. They have to be 100% of your effort in that time, because you're right. When it boils down to 8 hours, I've taken massive steps to try to be more efficient. I'm like trying to pre-edit TikToks, like even while playing Diablo, just on the side, try to get a short form content done for the next day. And I have plans. Like I have this on my computer on my PC. I keep this every single day, and it says, for every stream, am I prepared? What am I going to do? What are viewers going to do while I stream? How do I get a follower? There's so many little checklists that content creators go through and little things that they do. And that is on top of dishes and taking the dog out, and we just ran out of milk, and my oil has to get changed, and Stacy invited us over, and we haven't talked to her in a while, but we have to go even though you have a stream plan that day, and how does that happen? And it's like, as an adult, it's so difficult. So that does cut in the consistency. But I think the more people who have conversations like you and I just kind of talking about this, it can set that narrative that it's not as easy as it seems. And maybe somebody else who's in a relationship and is having a hard time talking to their partner about the efficacy of it because they've had 0 viewers for 5 days in a row, but they really want to pursue this. It really does require that deep communication, and it really boils down to both people being willing to look at it and be like, hey, listen, I choose you every day and you choose me every day. And that's a choice that we're going to have to make every day, but I'm going to try to make your choice worth it. I'll try to get your money's worth.
and I mean, I think that's all that we can do at the end of the day is, lay our cards out and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to achieve, and I want you to achieve it with me. And, we just go from there. Yeah.
Super low bottom, super high ceilings. And it's like, we're just somewhere in the middle.
You never know what you're going to
get. So then, to this question number 3, the one elaboration I like to ask is like, if right now you had just an unlimited budget to make 1 or 2 upgrades to your stream, something that you think, and it doesn't even have to be like a monetary thing. I ask this because I know that sometimes when streaming and relationships is concerned, there are topics of, well, we have to pay rent and car payments, but I also want to go XLR, right? Or I also want like a stream deck, or I also want an upgraded graphics card, or I want a different monitor or a better camera. You know, there's all those different pieces. We talked before the stream, and I told him literally he's somebody I think the only thing that, you know, his content as far as his personality, everything else is perfect. So I am actually curious to hear, you know, if you just ran into money and you just had some disposable income, what would be the thing that you're targeting to fix first, and why do you think that's important for content creators?
So I don't think that how do I word this? I would watch you, bro, if you didn't have a camera and if your shit was like 12 pixels a second and it was choppy. And so I mean, quality matters, but there's also you gotta enjoy what you're watching, and you gotta enjoy that person.
Yeah.
So I think you could give me an IMAX camera and put me in a movie theater and give me the best mic and give me everything, and I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference, because just because you can see every pimple and every blackhead that's on my nose, and you can hear every decibel or whatever that I say, at the end of the day, if I'm not saying what you want to hear, if I'm not playing what you want to watch, or if I'm not your vibe, I'm not your vibe. So I think you give me $1 million and I could buy the most incredible equipment of all time, and we're not going to see a drastic difference. So
I see what you mean. That's a really good point.
When it comes to that, like I think people, they see, oh damn, I got 0 viewers. I've had 1 viewer, 2 viewers for the last.
The webcam.
It has to be. They can't see me. They just can't see me. Hello. Look, that's it. They just can't see me. That's the only reason why. And then you think about all of the people or all the streamers that have thousands of viewers and they've never used a webcam. Some of them have never even talked. Some of them, they just play the game. So you have to really think about what am I. What am I giving people to watch? Is this something? Would I watch this? Would I want to sit down and see what this dude's all about? What his vibe is? So, if it was me, you gave me $1 million, I would take that money to quit my job, so that I don't necessarily, go out and spend that money on equipment. But we can now use that money to free up more time to maybe be able to stream more. But just use that time to think about what am I doing? What's working? What isn't? What do people want to watch? What am I watching that I'm attracted to? What keeps me coming to different streams? That's a really, I want to shoehorn in, because you said something very small. It's a very throwaway word. What's working, right? That's a very throwaway little thing. But a lot of people don't actually ask themselves that question. They'll post something, and if it doesn't work, they acknowledge it doesn't work. But then that's where it ends. They don't ask why, or like what did work and why. And those are different things that I think. I love your answer. I love the fact that you kind of peel away the necessity for an upgrade, because you're right? A lot of people create content now on their iPhones, and it's wonderful, and it's movie level, and you could do it, and there's ways to do it. There's it's a different society of content creation now. So I do agree with you. I think that the average quality is like the best quality it used to be, right? Like pretty much the whatever webcam you can get from Best Buy, whatever mic you can get, is like the best that the guy had like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. So I think that's a good point. That actually makes me want to tailor that question. I'll let you go, but I kind of want to ask one more follow-up now that you've kind of given me that response. Well, I was gonna say, I love this dude. His name's Makeout Hill. He streams Fortnite. The other day, someone was like, "Yo, what webcam you got?" He's like, "I got this $60 Walmart whatever." And I mean, dude is just so funny. Dude, it just has. He's. What do you say? That he's got it. Like that dude, he's got it. And it's not the webcam like that. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So it just really is. It's working on yourself. It's making sure that what you're doing is worth watching.
So we're both people who have done. We're not strangers to the work that goes into individually running a larger scale content event, right? Whether it's for charity, whether it's a subathon, whether it's a 24-hour, whether it's whatever, right? All of those are really big things that kind of take a lot of work. So let's say you got that budget back, right? You said, I don't want to buy any products, and they took it away from you, and they gave it back to you, and they said, okay, you don't have to buy any products. What's an event you'd want to do for your stream? Something that maybe if you don't include your stream, you'd at least like to like record content of. Maybe a vlog, or maybe a get together, or maybe a smash room or skydiving. You know, is there some event that maybe you would like to create content on that would be more costly, but you think it would be really good for your brand or on brand?
That's kind of a cool question. I've never really considered anything like that. When I do, like, I've never done a subathon. When I do these thons, it's usually to raise money for charity. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's more than me. Like, obviously, I'm here, I'm playing the game, whatever. But we can affect so many people. We can really use this for more than just entertainment purposes. So we can
absolutely
raise money for kids or raise money for whatever charity. So, I don't. Like I don't necessarily would want to do like a smash or anything in particular, but if we could somehow do anything that benefits other people, I'm all about it. So if it was like, you know, smash room and everything that we break, you know, $5 goes to this charity or whatever, like that would be sick. But I don't know. I just want to accomplish more than just growing this. Because I mean, I know that's the goal or whatever, you know, we want to grow, we want to be bigger, but we can just do so much more at the same time and have it, we can benefit at the same time as so many other people and so many other things and events and charities and whatever. So if it could involve just also benefiting something else for me being live longer or me doing something, then I'm all about that.
Yeah. I want this to go out to both chat, but I also would like this to kind of relay over to you, because I think this is a very, when I thought about this and kind of when I came to a conclusion on it, it was a really big moment for me in my content creation career, because it was a big change in how I viewed things. Because for a very long time, a lot of my answers were very similar to yours, right? Very kind of what I would consider to be like more humanitarian, more philanthropic, rather than just like the selfish, like gain for the money, right? But one thing that I think is really important for a lot of creators to do and to make a step for themselves in their content creation, and it came from a Tyler the Creator video where he was just yelling at a bunch of people, but he said, nobody will ever go more hard for you than you're willing to go for yourself, right? And it's so counterintuitive, but it's so true. Who are the people who you want to celebrate online? It's the people who are like, I'm fucking doing this. You know what I mean? Like I'm fucking, you know, I'm doing this so I could raise money for charity, right? Like I'm putting myself out there. I'm being kind of the cringy guy or whatever, so I can bring this stuff forward. You know, it goes back to the philosophical, or not philosophical, but psychological sales tactic of you don't get what you don't ask for, right? And so it might be like, I don't need more numbers. I don't need more viewers. I'm doing this all for whatever. But sometimes that can end up shooting yourself in the foot. People be like, all right, he doesn't need more, you know, he doesn't need more subs, you know, I'll just go and hang out. It is a
double-edged sword.
Yeah.
No, it is a double-edged sword. You're 100% right. Because you can come off as, you know, oh, doesn't need me. Exactly what you said. Then cool, I'm going to hang back, and people are already donating to the charity stream or whatever. Like, what, doesn't need me. And so it's a fine balance of trying to.
There's something with good people where they want to be appreciative, because Twitch is a weird thing. Twitch is the one thing where your money comes from other people always, right? Like it's like, it's not like your boss where like, hey, put it in the hours, where's my paycheck? It's like, hey, please pay me, but also don't, right? I don't want your, like, don't sub or don't do anything. You really don't have to, guys, but also please kind of fucking do it. Like, right. Please be so nice that you outdo my nice and you sub anyway, because I said
That's
not to, you know, but yeah.
You're nicer than I am.
There's some times where I think it definitely warrants to be like, hey guys, like, please do sub. It means a lot. Like, and I'm not asking that non-disingenuously. It like, here's where the money's going, or here's where what's happening with the subs, right? It's still able to grow your content in a way that I think is like both way. And I don't think it's bad to do so, right? I don't think it's bad for anyone to value their own content. Because you're right, we get limited hours in a day. The 4 hours you stream might not be paid, right? And it's not like you have to put that onto the viewers, but if we don't have sponsorships and we don't have other stuff, it might be good to do something that shows that the stream is growing, at least in a you know, a different way. And the money, again, you can take all your subs and give away the money. I don't think it has to be a terrible thing, but I think it could be a good metric for people to have value in themselves and not be afraid to ask, because you feel like, you know, oh, I'm not worth the sub, or I'm not worth the donation, or I'm not worth it. Like, put your money elsewhere, you know, go buy a coffee, go do whatever, you know. If these people really are watching your content and that guy shows up every day, right? That guy Travis shows up every day to your stream. He's going to be there every day you go live. So what's he going to do the day you don't go live because it just wasn't working out?
And
you know what I mean?
And that's to go back to your point about what, you know, sometimes the viewers don't understand as far as, you know, we're content creators, but we're also people at the same time. So, you know, I might be scheduled to go live today, but I woke up feeling like shit, and I ran 100%. Into 100 assholes today, and I had a flat tire, and I'm not doing it. Today is not the day that I'm gonna go live. But if you don't understand that, which I mean, you're not gonna, unless you're living in my circle and you're, you know, I'm not going to my, hey guys, guess what? I just had a flat. I'm not gonna share every personal detail of my life. So if you don't know that, it's just, oh damn, Bruce ain't going live today. What happened? Where are you? It's not you. It's everything else that goes into consideration as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. That's awesome, man. All right, so then we got 2 more to get through quickly, and then we could get to the open part. Usually this goes for about 30 minutes, so I'm glad we're already at like almost an hour, and we're just getting into the meat and potatoes.
Sorry, I'm talking your ear off.
No, I fucking love it, dude. Honestly, this is exactly what I want. This can go for 5. I wouldn't care. All right, so question 4. I think this one's a really good question because everybody's answer to this is going to be different just based on their own scheduling in their life, right? If mom's paying the bills, you're going to have a way different answer than if you're paying the bills. What would you say in your mind is a perfect content creation day for you?
What do you mean? Like the amount of time I spend
live? Just like a day where you might just feel like you did everything you could to have your best day in content creation. You know, if you'd want me to go first, just to give you an example, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I would say like a perfect content day for me, I have a short form content or 2 in best case to go to every platform, right? So Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, because those have been bringing more people to my stream than Twitch. Those are just massive for the growth. Then I'd have a 4-hour stream that is going to become a YouTube video, right? So the 4-hour stream edited down is probably 30 minutes of something good that's going to go to YouTube. And then ideally, I'd have some pretty good social media interactions that kind of grow my brand or further develop my personality in a way that people know what Flex Chapman is, even though they've never watched a stream. That would be like my perfect day.
Okay. Well, so I don't know. I guess when you put it like that, like your perfect content creation day, like you've got goals, like you're out there, you're ready to get people engaged, and you want people to know that you're live and you're ready to entertain.
Oh, I'm just so sick of sucking. I'm just so sick of
sucking. You don't suck.
I know it feels,
but I love it. You know, like you're ready to you want people to know, hey, my show is live, and get your ass in here. You're gonna have a good time, and I love that. And I think I was like that. I used to be like that, and I don't know what changed, but I don't know. I like the aspect that you don't know what's going to happen. I like that I can go live. I might have 10 people there immediately. I might not have 10 people the entire stream. Yeah. I might get 20 followers. I might not get a follower for the next 20 days. Yeah. So I think I got a different mentality as far as growing my stuff now versus what I had in the past. But a perfect content creation day for me now would be just to go live and have fun, have fun with whoever wants to join.
That's an amazing answer. That's really cool to hear.
If that is watching YouTube video, we watch a lot of dumbass YouTube videos on my channel, bro. We do a lot of, you know, I like to ask about what people are eating, and we'll watch people cook, and if it's game time, if a new game came out, we're gonna play that game. But I don't know. At the end of the day, whatever we do, I want to have everyone feel invited. I want you to you're taking time out of your day to watch me. You know? You're taking time. As we mentioned, there's only so much time in the day. You're spending that with me. So if I can make it fun for you, then that's all I'm after.
Absolutely. I love your answer for that, because I think that is a really important fundamental portion is the having fun, right? Somebody who's consistent but has a shitty stream versus somebody who's inconsistent but is having a blast are two different vibes, right? Just because John's going to be there on Thursday at 8 doesn't mean that you really care what John's doing. He's just going to be there. So it's like, he'll show up because John's there, but Tony's over here playing fucking Cooking Mama, you know what I mean? And he's getting silly, and it's just like, you want to peek over here. And so I agree with you. The fun's people forget how just absolutely important it is to look like you're having fun on camera. I'm so guilty of this. My mods will literally DM me and be like, hey, you should probably end stream, because there's times where I'll be playing a game and I just get so pissed off, like Valorant or Apex, and I'm just in a fucking mood. And somebody will come in and I'm like, I don't got the time for this. I got to focus on the game. And they're like, oh, your show sucks. And it does. But that goes back to what you said earlier. We're humans. And like, we have to, you have to be susceptible to be like, hey, I'm not putting on my best show right now. I'm not being my best.
And I hate to lose. I hate losing.
Me too.
if I don't hate anything, I hate to lose. So that was really tough for me, is balancing that aspect. Is I lost every single Fortnite game I played. I lost almost every single one I played. So it was really tough for me to understand you got to chill out. Like, you cannot get mad, because that's not what this is about. This is not, people are not here to see. One or two might have been there to see me crank 90s.
Yeah.
No one else was. No one else was there for how I played the game or how I shot. No one cared about how many kills I got. We were just vibing. So I can remember just dying and being like, I want to flip this table over. And
yes, dude. Oh my God. Especially if you got to like top 3.
But you lose to some fluke shit,
Someone got a grenade.
Something so goofy. So it helped me to think back about what am I trying to accomplish here? These people aren't here for my gaming abilities. So if I start getting mad because I'm ass and I'm not good at the game, which is just honest. That's just the truth. I'm not any good at the game. No one wants to watch that. There's very few people that want to see that rager dude that's mad about everything. And I mean, if you're already mad about whatever you got going on, and this is a distraction, or you're just trying to get out of whatever you're dealing with. Why would I want to see this dude pissed off about it? I'm not trying to be mad again. So yeah, that helped me. And just at the end of the day, I'm not the best gamer. I'm not the best at anything, but I'm gonna try to make whatever we're doing be fun.
Taking it on the chin in content creation's big. I mean, being able to eat an L and just kind of move forward, and being the funniest loser. There's something about that. I mean, you look at Tim the Tap Man, the funniest loser. He just sucks at everything, but he's just happy doing it. He's just happy to suck, and that's it.
Great example.
Works.
Yeah. Great example. No one is going to go. I keep saying no one. I can only speak for myself. I'm not going to go, you know what? I'm going to try to get good at Call of Duty. Who am I going to watch? Tim the Tap Man. I know. That's not. And no one is going to go, I'm going to get good at I'm going to watch Roos play Brawlhalla. That is not why you're there. And I'm cool with that. I'm glad that's not why you're there, because I'm not going to keep you around for long if that's your reason.
Yeah, I 100%. Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. Cool. So with 4, the elaborations are a little bit different, and I'm gonna go ahead and skip them just for the sake of this, because we're gonna talk about those kind of during the second segment. Really, they just kind of entail like things in regards to like content chores, like editing short form content or things like that. But again, we discussed earlier, and we're gonna touch upon it more. You don't do social media. You're just completely. You're devoid of that stuff, and I think that there's a conversation to definitely be had a little bit deeper into that. So I think I'm just going to move on to question number 5 for us, so that we can wrap up the first portion. Just move it along.
Okay.
What would be? I know this one is just the kind of question that I think is, there's no right or wrong answer. It really is just what your answer is, and it doesn't even have to be like 5-year, 10-year, or anything. It could just be like maybe immediate, whatever. But what's your end goal with content? What is the end game for you? Where do you feel like, you know, a lot of people don't set goals. Some people do set goals. I want to be here in a year. I want to be here in a year. Some people just go and, like you said, go live and just have fun. So is there a goal for you that you'd like this to get to? You know, you're a charitable person. Maybe it's, you know, to where you can give away $1,000 a month, or maybe it's, you know, giving away PCs. Who knows? So, you know, where would you like to land?
I think that's something I can be a lot better at, is having goals and you know, achieving milestones and shit. But at the same time, I just get how this works, and I know if I go, you know what, I'm gonna have a goal of having, I don't know, 20 consistent viewers and 30 monthly subs, like that. I just feel like the type of content I'm gonna produce just isn't genuine. It's just not. It just, I don't know. So I mean, I would love to be able to do this full time and, you know, stream 5, 6, 8 hours a day playing who knows what. But I feel like if I said, you know, that's my goal. 6 months from now, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be able to, I'm gonna grow my community, do this. It's just the things that I'm gonna do to make that happen just isn't me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just wanna keep having fun and cool people swing by and continue to come around if you like it. I know I'm not for everybody. I know that. So if you come by, it's not your jam. Like, you know, I'm not. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
I know the feeling.
But
yeah.
But you know, I just every day that I go live and continue to do this creator thing, I just want to have people that are stoked to see the next show and, you know, are excited for whenever the next one's going to come. And I don't have really any way to, I don't know, put that into bullet points or whatever besides just trying to be my goofy self. So,
you know, I want to put you onto some game. I'm just going to throw this in as a footnote before I move it in the elaborations. There's two things that I think that would probably help you maybe in that avenue. That helped me in that same exact avenue, because I used to set those goals of like 1,000 followers, and then I don't hit it. I'm like, fuck, maybe I need to start buying them. Like, maybe I need to do something. I need to hit that goal. So what I did was I did two things. So one, I restructured my goals to not be based on metrics, but to be based on actions, right? So my goal isn't to get 1,000 followers. It is to post a video a week that's at least like 10 minutes, right? My goal per day is not to check, you know, if my posts that I put on TikTok or whatever have gotten any numbers. It's to just get one out there, right? It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. As long as I'm putting something out there, it's good. Right. And then the second part of that ties into it comes from Joe Rogan, which is the post and ghost, bro. I don't check. I've never checked. For the past few months, I haven't checked a follow count or a notification of anything. I post this shit and that's it. If people comment and stuff, fuck them. If people watch it, okay. Fuck them. Not fuck them in a negative way, but kind of just like, no, I hear you. I'm not looking at it. My goal was to put a piece of content out, and I did. So I hit my goal, right? And that's it. And I don't care. And then now it's like, you know, I'll go live and like, yo, I'm from the TikTok or whatever. I'm like, oh shit, dude, like that's cool to know. Like that's awesome. But I don't look at shit. I can't, dude. I can't. Because you're the same thing you just said, dude. I remember one of my old streaming advice that I used to give to people was go on Twitter, search up the game that you play as far as a hashtag, and follow everybody who plays that game. And they're going to like you because you play their game, and then they're going to follow you, and you're going to engage your engagements. And like, that doesn't work. It just, like, the numbers don't mean shit at that point. It's just, it's hollow. You want people who actually give a fuck. So I think that's like a cool way of doing it, because you're not worried about being the best or the worst at TikTok. You're just worried about being the best or worst of you. And that's I think what changes that line. If you want to speak on that.
No, that's a great goal, honestly, because I think that I never really, you know, goals me or you achieve this amount of numbers or this amount of people engagements or whatever. And goals don't have to be like that. As you said, you know, putting out a video a week or doing a certain amount of hours live streaming is a totally fine goal in itself. So
yeah,
no, that's something I need to go back and, you know, think about.
I want to talk to you further about that, you know, aside from this, but, you know, these two elaborations on question number 5, I think are really cool because they end on a really lighthearted note. And I think it's a really great way for a lot of people to kind of see that the different layers of content creation are a bit more thorough than you might think. So the first elaboration would be, who do you think, when you got into content creation, or maybe even now, your biggest inspiration was, as far as somebody who might still be lower and somebody who might be at the top? Who would you say, like a low viewer, a small content creator, and a large content creator, who both inspire you would be? I was worded hard. I'm sorry. You get what I'm saying.
Got it.
All over.
Damn. There's so many people that I really like and can put in that admiration bucket. When it comes to big time streamers, in my opinion, thousands of viewers.
Sure,
I really like Kyle. He streams GTA. I don't know what it is about him. He's human. He's down to earth. But there's something about him going live every day at the same time. This is a job. It's different. Like it's not the same for me, for him. So
sure, yeah.
But I admire just how he's figured out. He knows what it takes. He knows he's experimented with different time slots and whatever. Like doing this in such a smaller scale, can appreciate the thought and the effort that it takes to be able to grow something to that
his
potential,
diligence,
to that size. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and he usually streams GTA, but I mean, he's branched out to other stuff. So he's not one of those people that's like, oh, these people are only here for GTA. Like he seems to understand that he's a type of dude that people want to watch and be around. So, there's so many small examples, bro. I can think of, I got a guy named Hustle who has been streaming Multiverses, and X Defiant, I think, is the most recent thing. But it's just that those dudes that show up regardless. I mean, they're going to get some viewership. In our cases, sometimes it doesn't happen, but you're going to show up. You're going to come to work.
Goddamn right.
Job. Yeah. You're going to do the best that you can. And there's a lot of people, or a lot of streamers, that'll fire up, and after 10, 15 minutes, they don't see anybody, and that's it. They're gonna close up shop.
Oh, that sucks, dude.
And that's, I get it. I understand. What's the point of this? But at the same time, those dudes that they're grinding. They're willing to do what it takes to get past that hump. Like I love that. Because I know what it takes.
Yeah. I think that's a super important point as well. A lot of the people who I tend to like in content creation, and a lot of the people who tend to like me, are people who can see the effort, right? You could look at something and just know, like, damn, that wasn't easy. Like, that person probably put some fucking time into a project, and you just get a better appreciation for just like the mundane.
Great example is your subathon, bro.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So many streamers will watch something like that. Let me be an example. So many people watch this and go, holy shit, what a concept. This dude has his community rallying behind him. It's for, a better, there's so much good to it. Let me try that. Bro, so I took a day off. So I took a 3-day weekend. I was like, if everyone goes absolutely crazy for this charity-thon, we're going to go to 72 hours. We're going to be live. We're going to be jiving. It's going to be a vibe. Mm-hmm. Bro, that shit is tough.
Oh my God, isn't it?
That shit is so... It's hard to be...
It's hard to even sleep on camera.
bro, I have like a 3 to 4 hour window of let's do this. I'm all in, and then I hit the 3 hour mark, the 3:30, and I'm like, damn, I need a snack. I need to chill out. Like I need something else, bro. And you can't do that. You can't be like, hold on, guy. I did, because I didn't know any better. So I was like, hold on, I'm pulling in the bean bag. We're gonna chill out. We're gonna I did.
I watched your subathon in preparation for this, and honestly, I felt like there were some things that I wish that, like, That's what I love about this. You watch somebody else, you get some ideas. Like the beanbag chill section, like you're just watching fucking penguins, and it's just a fucking, it's a vibe, dude. It's like you're just chill. Like that's great, dude. And I wish I did more of that. I sat here in this fucking chair, exhausting myself for 130 hours. Where it's like,
do it, bro. That's what I'm saying. That was my plan. I was like, no, I got I got this. We're gaming. No, we got. I couldn't do it. I literally, I was sitting here like, bro, I'm so tired. Like, I had to pull the beanbag. So there's like instances like that I grow a certain amount of admiration and appreciation, because just as you said, I fired up one day, I could do this. Hold on. But then I watch yourself. No, there's levels to this shit. It's not. There's a lot that goes into
making things look easy is hard. I love that. Making things look easy is hard because, dude, anyone who's been live for just even 24 hours knows that 24-hour mark's a fucking. It's a disaster, you know? And there's technique to even that shit too. Like, that's why whenever I do anything late, I always start at midnight. Cause I used to start at like noon and be like, great, I got a full day of content. And then overnight it's gonna be chill and I can pace myself until 4 a.m. and 0 viewers hits because everyone's asleep and your eyes are bloodshot and you're on your 5th Red Bull and you're fucking, the games just aren't hitting. The queue times and matches are longer because nobody's fucking on at fights, dude. It's so trust me, dude, it's fucking tough. I'm with you 100%. But therefore, that concludes it. I can close my book now. That is everything that we have for the questions. So now we get to move on to segment 2, which is the questions that I have kind of single-handedly tailored for Roost here. I try to do a bit of diligence on each of my guests, learn some things about them that I want to ask further about because I think they're really cool and I think you guys would be interested in. And anyone who watched Roost, if you're a fan of him, there's probably things you know about him that maybe you want to know a little bit more about. So without further ado, I think I want to start off with something, again, they're all lighthearted. Nothing here is hard-hitting questions. The whole thing's been pretty easy, but I love that in my forum, you said that this has just been like a reoccurring theme with you. Your whole thing is just goofy and silly and fun. It's like your entire kind of angle for content creation. I think that's really important because content creation has the serious hitters, it has the news people, it has the competitive grinders, and there's a space for somebody who just eases the tension. Do you think that is so important to you from being somebody who used to watch them, or do you think that's important to you because that's something you need to put out there for people?
I think both.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
I think that this sounds weird, but if it wasn't me, I would watch what I got going on. Just for the aspect that, yeah, I try to keep it light. I try to have fun. I get it. I understand that I'm not the best gamer. I'm not gonna fire up any game and just dominate. I'm not that kind of guy. Yeah. So I've understood that, if you're not the best salesman, you're not gonna have the best sales techniques, but you can counteract that with maybe being funny or being kind, or there's ways to counteract not being the best and highlighting what you do better, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm a goofy ass dude, bro. Like everything I do is just goofy.
That's just a funny word to say straight faced.
I'm just a goofy guy, man. I like to have fun. I named myself Roost. I went by the Loose Rooster because I was walking in my neighborhood and I saw a couple roosters walking alone, like out and about, and I was like, "Oh, look at those roosters are loose." The loose, and so it just has no meaning, has no importance to me, but it just like just that type of vibe. I thought, "Oh, damn, that kind of sounds funny. I'm gonna run with it."
I love that. Yeah.
Everyone is going through so much, man, as you know. Like, there's so much that's going on behind the scenes. People got work stuff, people got family stuff, people dealing with their spouses, their friends, their everything. And sometimes they just don't have a way to let go, or get 15 minutes, 30 minutes to just not worry about what they're worrying about. So if you can click on my channel and I can air horn and ask you what you ate today, and if we can discuss anything under the sun that just takes your mind off of maybe something more important, then that's all I want to do. So
That's awesome.
I get it. Because I've been there, you know, we all go through shit. We do on a daily basis. So I've gone to people's show. I've gone to your stream. I've chatted with you. I've been like, damn, you know, this is a breath of fresh air. It's cool that I didn't have to worry about this or worry about that, and I just got to kick back. So I just want to try to provide that same type of vibe for anybody that wants it or needs it.
Absolutely, man. I think that's a massive point, because you know, people take, like, it's easy to let the stress of content creation leak into your content. And then your viewers now know that it's not just fun, right?
Yeah.
Because different things like metrics and other shit get in your head. And so I think it's really cool that you're kind of taking the stance as this person who's like, fuck metrics, fuck schedule, fuck everything. Like, let's just make this, just like, let's take away all the complications. Like, peel back all the layers that make things complicated unnecessarily, and let's just fucking go live and have fun. Like, let's just let that be the thing. You know, there needs to be the guy who has the podcast, and there needs to be the guy who has the fun, and that's why this exists.
And that's fair. And my only thought was, it's not necessarily right that, you know, you know, maybe I could have grown more. Maybe I could have had a bigger audience. Maybe I could have done this or that. You know, it's not necessarily that, hey, if you're getting into streaming, this is what you need to have, the same mindset. But as you said, there's people that have podcasts, there's people that have schedules, and they got their shit together. And it's just, that works for them. That is what their audience is looking for. And there's don't get me wrong, there's people that stream consistently, and I know, like Kyle, I know he's going to go live at 8 a.m. If I have nothing to watch, I have him. Like, he's going to be there.
Yeah.
So there's pros to having schedules and to knowing when people are going to be live, when I can, you know, people have favorite shows, and they're going to sit down and have dinner at 6:30 so they can watch Wheel of Fortune or whatever. So there's a rhyme and a reason to it. But at the same time, if I try to be as fun and, you know, just lighthearted, if we schedule this a specific time, a certain day, and it doesn't work out, then I'm not going to give you what you're coming for.
I get what you mean. Sense. Yeah. It's hard to be like, I'll be lighthearted Thursday at 8.
Like, how can I predict that? You know, how do I know? So
I also want to address, I don't want you to think like I'm like this fucking hyper super scheduled person. I have this whiteboard that, I don't know, I'll put it close and you'll see it's a checklist, and I have like short form content, one picture post. Like, I need this shit or I will never get it. Like, if I don't literally check off and be like, oh, good boy point, like I will never do it. Like, I won't post shit. So I'm with you in the sense of just like I have a stream schedule purely to let you know when I might be around. Like, my stream schedule is like, hey, you're probably gonna see me on Thursday, whether I start at 6 or 10.
Bro, I love you. You are so put together, bro. You got bullet, bro.
No,
I don't even own a whiteboard.
I know it's ADHD, bro. It's severe ADHD. If I don't do that, nothing will get done. Because the thing about ADHD, I don't know if you have ADHD. Maybe you are around people who have ADHD, but one of the common things about ADHD is you are a fucking creative gun. You are literally a gun of creativity that can shoot out ideas anytime. But execution is where it starts to get a little fucking shaky. It's like, man, I got this great idea for a video. I can't wait to get home. You get home and you're like, fuck it. I'm too tired. And then that idea is gone. And then nothing happens. And that's a 1 million view video. And you're just like, yeah. Another one will come tomorrow. We'll see if I have the energy then. It's part of ADHD. So I write down those things so that as I go through my day, you know, I'll be in my room and I'll be like, weekly says, you know, post a weekly Discord engagement. Oh, I guess I haven't done that. What would that even be? And the idea is easy. I can think of the idea in 10 seconds, but it's just getting in front of my desk and being like, hey guys, this week's idea. Like, that's the shit that's hard. It's the execution. And it might be like, I know I need to do it. You know you need to do it. Everything's telling you need to do it. You know, if you're somebody, like in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, if I'm really going to pursue content creation and I'm really going to like pick my jobs hours and shit like that based on being able to create content. And if I'm really going to take all these dives and I'm really going to go for this and I'm really going to tell Liv like, hey, that vacation might have to be put off the next year because like, you know, I spent money on a fucking subathon or whatever. Like, if all that shit's going to happen, then I have to do all my diligence. Like, I have to make sure I'm actually trying at it and actually putting myself out there. Otherwise it's like, I really want this stream, kind of. Like, I really want this stream. And they're like, well, post something. And I'm like, I can't do that.
No, that's a really good point. I mean, I really want this to happen. So what are you doing to make it happen? So many people say I'm gonna be the next ninja or whatever. So what are you doing? Are you doing the TikTok shit like you're talking about? Are you putting in the grind? So you? I love that you understand what you need to do to make this happen. And if you got it listed out bullet points, my boy.
I said it to you earlier and you laughed. You're like, oh, you don't suck. I'm sick of sucking, right? And like the way I look at myself, like in terms of suck, isn't like numbers of everything. Like I don't look at, again, I mentioned metrics mean nothing to me, right? I don't even look at my viewer count when I go live. The only thing I keep open from Twitch is chat. That's it. And I can tell if I'm doing good or bad based on my chat. Right? That's like my immediate metric to whether or not I've been performing well in content creation or not. Because if I have more people are there and I have different things to talk about, if I'm not giving my all, then nothing has happened, right? Then like I can see it, right? People are less likely, and it's like, okay, it's like I use that as a gauge, but even that's not good because, you know, Tuesday might be kickball. I didn't know it, right? And my average viewer, the person I expect to be there, life comes up. So I'm not expecting everyone to be there. That's why I don't look at metrics because, you know, you might get a raid, get 10 followers, you check back tomorrow and you're down 12 followers. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? I gained 10, I'm down 12. Shit just changes all the time when you're talking about the large numbers. So, you know, it's important, I think, for like every kind of content creator to look at like their own goals and say like, according to me, do I suck, right? If I can tell myself like, hey, I put out the video today and I put out the TikTok today, then like, all right, I put it out there. It could get 0 views. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't suck in my mind because I at least did the shit and whatever. That's how I look at it in a certain way, I guess.
I think you make an interesting point in saying that you feel like you suck compared to, you know, your own metrics or whatever, and not looking at numbers or things like that. But then at the same time, also think that you might not be as successful or you're sucking based on chat interaction. And then you also make an incredible point that we don't know what's going on in these people's lives. And so I'll think, you know, holy shit, last night was so sick. Like we were vibing. We had everyone there. Maybe it was a Saturday night or something, you know, like it was just a loose night. Everyone, we were drinking, whatever. Go live on a Tuesday, expecting the same thing. And it's like, where's everyone at? And
oh my God. Wait. Can I really ask you to hold that thought for just 1 second? Have you ever done the thing where you had such a good stream that you're like, we're about to run it back the next day and you plan something for it and then nobody shows up and you put the work into planning a cool fucking like community thing and you're like, hey, where'd you go?
Where'd you guys go? Hello?
I'm finally trying now. Like you were there when I wasn't trying and I'm trying.
And I think it's a great point that viewers don't understand what content creators go through, and at the same time content creators don't consider what viewers are going through and expect, you know what, we're running it back, today is going to be just as good, we're killing it. And no, that dude Travis's mom is sick and he can't show up and you had to work late, and you know, like there's just so much that goes into it that it's easy for us to be like, oh damn, well maybe I'm not gaining traction, like maybe that was a fluke, maybe, but it's not that. There's just so much, it's just so easy to doubt what's going on and to doubt any type of genuinity, if that's even a real word, you know, if the shit's actual, you know, happening. So there's just so much that is, it's tough to balance.
I mean, the way we met was, is this disingenuous or not? So I'll relay the story out, and then you know, feel free to tag on. So the way that Roostie and I met a long time ago, we kind of swam in the same circles for Fortnite. We knew a lot of people, and I remember I had just watched this tutorial on YouTube about gain in OBS. And if you guys don't know what gain is, so if you go to if you're in OBS and you have a camera, you go to camera properties. And then you go to camera properties inside the setting. And there's a thing called gain, which depending on the light that's coming into your room will change how dark or how bright you look so that you don't get like that big shiner where like you're like this part of your face is white and this part's normal skin color. So I saw one of Roostie's streams and I was like, this guy is fucking this guy is everything. Like, he is going to be the next fucking hit. But I see that he has this thing where like half his face is completely like as white as the door and everything else. So here's this thing, and I message him on Discord, and I message him like, we've never talked on Discord. Hey, bro, I think you should check out this setting and everything else, this and that, right? And I don't even think, I think you hit me with like all right, yeah, bud, or something like that, like a short, like a very like, okay, right? And I'll let you pick up from there because your side of the story was.
Bro, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed when I think about it. You say it perfect, bro. You come in here, you're like, yo, hey man, I got some advice. Like I think I can help what you're trying to do. And I don't know why. I took that so wrong. Like who is this guy? Who the hell is this dude gonna tell me that I can improve? What do you know, pal? So initially that went down the wrong pipe. That I was choking. I was choking on my water. But so I had to like stop being so selfish and understand, hold on. Maybe this dude isn't trying to be an asshole. Maybe he's like maybe he's trying to help me out. And it's been a bromance since.
You're not the first person to say that too. Like I like everybody who knows me will know that I will just send you DMs randomly of shit that is like just so left field, because the way I look at things is a little bit different. Like I don't see myself as better than everyone, but I see myself as someone who's been streaming for 6 years and has tried fucking everything. I've streamed the webcam and a $1,000 cam. You know, I know like all the little hiccups with everything. And so I will send creators messages and I get dubbed all the time. Like people just don't even respond. I'm like, take it or leave it. But you were somebody who was like, thanks, bro, whatever. And then you came back and you were like, hey, I'm sorry. You're like, I read your message actually, and it really helped. And I was like, yeah, I'm fucking glad.
Because it's like, you get going, and I was pretty new. So it was like, and because you were so new as well, like to the channel or whatever,
yeah.
Like you weren't someone that's been there around for a minute and like, hey bro, like I've been noticing this, but it's not wrong for you to notice that something wasn't perfect, for lack of a better term, like your first interaction or whatever, and try to assist. So it was just an ego thing, honestly. Like I'm embarrassed. I'm super embarrassed.
No,
come off like that.
I don't think it's like that. That's like a big trend now. I was kind of a loser because I was just giving unsolicited advice to people randomly all the time. But like you see it on TikTok now, where somebody will like post a TikTok on something like, yo, you're doing your paper towel thing wrong. You got to fucking put it upside down or whatever. And it's like little things like that. I feel like if you have something that you clearly see, like it's not a judgment thing, but you're actually just fixing a problem. I like always help people, like, because somebody might not even know that's an option. They might have just never even had the question of like, could this be better? Bro,
that's exactly it. Because if you would have never said anything, I would have never gone into looking at any of that, any filters, I would have gone weeks, probably months. I probably never would have done it, to be fair. Like I never would have even thought about what can I do? Because like I said, I downloaded my shit, I hit live, and let's go. So it takes brave people like you for lack of a better term, because not everyone's comfortable to come to someone's stream like that and go, yo, love what you're doing. I'm embarrassed because you weren't rude. There was nothing that was mean or negative. There was nothing about that. And so just to take your thoughtfulness and to run in the wrong direction, it was just so wrong. So
I get it though.
That's the only reason why but I'm so thankful, bro. Like you have been an incredible friend. That it was eye-opening to me to try to make things any type of better.
Well, I just look at it as just like everyone kind of deserves the same opportunities to have at least the same starting point. If somebody has all the same shit as me, but fundamentally maybe there's some things that they could change or improve that are small differences. And I do this even now with my friends with like TikToks and shit. We'll send each other TikToks like, yo, how do you feel about this? Is it good? Like, what would you change? Right. And even if it's like whatever, it's just getting an opinion from a peer is so much more valuable. You know, if you're somebody who works on cars, you don't want to ask somebody who's only read a magazine. You want a fucking mechanic to tell you what the fuck is up with your car, you know? And so it's like you like talking to people about that stuff. But you said I was brave, but that actually kind of, I was going to kind of lead into my next thing with saying that I think it's incredibly brave. One thing I've never done in all my years of streaming, and I know a lot of people who are really successful creators who have never done it, is a charity stream. Charity streams are incredibly, to me, they've always been a nerve-wracking thing, because what if your end donation is like $20? Like, what if like you plan $1,000 worth of events and you just hit that 20 and you went live for 24 hours and it's just one of those dud days where maybe it just didn't take off? Like, there's this responsibility with a charity stream of putting on the best content because you're doing it for a good cause. So it's like, you know, walk me through. Because yours was, I mean, I saw the check marks being hit. You had massive numbers. You were able to give a substantial bit to the charity of your choice. Like, walk me through how that feels from like a creator standpoint. That must be nerve wracking.
I think we raised $640. So I'm
that's huge.
Super proud of what we did. But no, it's a totally fair point. And I joked about that going into that weekend. Like, what if this shit just flops? Like, what if
it's real?
What if, dude, I had a whole notepad of $50, $100, $200 from you as an example. I stole that from you. I had a whole notepad, and I asked, like, yo, what if this shit flops? But I was cool with the potential of it flopping because at least we tried. You know, like, at least we gave people the opportunity if they wanted to donate, and if they wanted. It kind of sounds selfish, but like, if they wanted to see more of me, they can kill two birds with one stone, and not only benefit the kids in this case because we donated to St. Jude's, but also, like, if you just want to vibe more, if you want to hang out and want to see more of what we got going on, like, you can make that happen. So
absolutely, that's important.
I knew, as you did, I'm sure, that with the people that you have around you, that it's not these people are too generous. Like,
it's not diving into unknown water. You have some familiarity,
right? They're not. If we were at $20 and that was the most we got, someone would have skipped dinner, for lack of a better term, and used their dinner money to keep it going. Like, that's just the type of people that come around.
Yeah.
So I knew. I mean, worst case scenario, we're gonna raise $20-$30, and that's $20-$30 more than what they had. So we'll take it, but I'm thankful. We had an incredible time. As you mentioned, we were watching Penguins. We played a few different games.
Bob Ross segment was pretty fire. I loved watching that.
Ross. I got the Bob Ross wig.
Yeah, that was great.
We did a little. So I would love to do that again. But to anybody that has that concept or that has that idea, like, yo, let's raise money for anybody besides myself. That's all you can do is try. And at the end of the day, if people decide that they don't want to spend their money towards that, that's not your fault. That's not your problem.
Fuck yeah.
We gave you an opportunity and it didn't work. So if it didn't work, we'll just move on to whatever's next.
Yeah, no, that's really big. You know, some people don't know this, but actually, for my subathon, and this is like, this is me talking, like, a little bit candid, I guess, as a content creator about like the shit that maybe goes through my mind, the shit that goes through other people's mind. I had set aside $200 to gift subs, aside from the money that I had, set aside for buying things for the stream. And during the first bit of the stream, I matched subs, but the first like 14 hours, I maybe got like 15 subs, which was like pretty light for the subathon because I started with 24 hours and then I went into other stuff. And I was like, I literally like texted people I know and I was like, yo, if subs don't come in, like, I might just like Zell you money, like maybe start some hype just to like maybe move things along, because not to be disingenuous because I'm giving that money to my community, but just almost to like at least give it something to kind of take the reins. But once the community kind of hit in and just was like, yo, we got this, it feels amazing as a content creator when your community has your back in a way that you're like, holy shit, like I'm glad that I don't actually suck as bad as I thought I was going to, or like, I'm glad I'm actually bringing valuable content to the table that wants support, and that might sound like that, to some people that might sound cheating, that might sound disingenuous, but when you put a lot of effort into something and you want it to succeed, like, I think that there are the looks of like kind of the investment in making, like, it's an investment in yourself. It's like, I want this to kind of have some notoriety, so I want to really pour as much in this as possible.
And I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, I don't think that's as disingenuous as it seems, because I mean, sure, they're not your subs or whatever, they're coming from your money from people, but again, that extends the time. That's going to give you potentially another hour for someone that might not have seen you or might have already seen you, that just was busy. They couldn't have donated in the last 3 hours or whatever, and you extended a window and you've provided them another opportunity. So it was, cool. At the end of the day, the money's going to the right people. And
I think I ended up giving away like 10 or 15 just out of my own, but that was like after the concern had happened. Like, the concern had happened, then my community kind of came in, and so I was just like throwing it in with my community, be like, fuck yeah, dude, subs for all. Like, let's make this just really fun and torture. So that part was really cool. It's, the whole point in kind of being honest about that is like, if you really put yourself into content, just like you put yourself in for the charity stream, I put myself in for the subathon and like bigger things, like, it's important to believe in yourself that your content is good enough to actually do what you're advertising, to work on that.
100%. And to add to the point earlier about how you make this shit look easy. So how long did your subathon last? Like, it felt like a whole week.
131 at the end. Yeah. 131 hours.
Okay. So, bro, that was so fun to get. I knew I was going to wake up. You might not be live immediately, but you were going to be live in the next couple hours or whatever, and we were going to vibe. So when it ended and you didn't go live the next day or the following day, it was like, where the fuck is Flex at? Like, where's he at? But then I go through my shit and it's like, I'm not going live the next day. There's absolutely no way. Do you need a few days? So it's a tough viewer streamer balance, because it's like, oh, this is my dude. Like, I'm there. We're doing this consistently. Like, that's my routine now.
Did you get emotional when it ended? Yours?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Yours, like your charity event? Did you get emotional when it ended? When you were like, finally?
No, I was relieved. So I knew that these people, I got to like 11 p.m. my time, which is late for me. I'm a grandpa. I'm in bed by like 9:30. So I get to 11 p.m. Sunday night, and I got like 3 hours on the clock. And I know if I go to bed and I wake up the next day to do those next 3 hours, that's not going to be 3 hours. I just know. So my ass laid in that damn beanbag for 3 hours, just waiting for that time. And that sounds so rude. Like, what?
No,
why did you do that?
No.
I mean, I have to say, like, what's the point of the subathon if you do 72 hours, if you allot that amount of time and you're not going to stick around? But at this, like, I just cannot tell you how easy, bro. You made that seem like it was just a walk in the park.
It's tough.
Another day and I thought, let me try. And I couldn't make it 2 days.
God, it's so fun when it's at its highs, and it's so hard at its lows. I mean, when those late night moments or just like those lulls kick in, and you're tired, but you're still trying to keep conversation going. You're like, you guys ever eat like corn? Like, it's just like you're out of everything.
You ever had to shit before?
What's the deal with air?
You breathe.
It's fucking tough, dude. It's tough.
It really is. It really is.
Dude, I love that, man. I actually was, considering doing something in the future to that avail. I want to move on because there's a couple more things I want to touch upon quickly before we get to questions, and there's been a few of them. So the first one, I want to just jump up, fun one, Club Penguin. You got to explain this one to me, man. For anyone who doesn't watch Roostie, I just want him to do the full explanation. Just let it go. Let him talk about it.
All right. So so Multiverse, I used to be a Multiverse streamer, and that game is dead, if you guys aren't aware, coming back in 2024, hopefully. So I'm like, what the hell do I play? Started playing Brawl. I'm so ass. I'm like, damn, maybe this ain't the game. So a game I used to play back in the day was Toontown. You know anything about Toontown?
Oh, I know Toontown, yeah.
Okay. So I pull up Toontown and I have a homie named Ducky. And Ducky goes, "What about Club Penguin? You know Club Penguin is back?" I said, hold on. What do you mean Club Penguin's back? I never played Club Penguin.
But between us adult men.
I never played Club Penguin. So I was like, hold on, I'll check it out. So that day, I'm sure you were watching the VOD or whatever and saw that. That was the first time I played it. I have never. I was trying to learn how to be the Club Penguin DJ and shit. I was trying to figure out. I was just trying to channel my inner bird, you know.
Dude, I love it. I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier about just like, fuck, dude. Like, that's such a fun, goofy fucking moment that literally, there's probably 0 people in the Club Penguin category on Twitch. And imagine that TikTok, bro. Somebody's gonna be like, no way, this fucking guy's playing Club Penguin in 2023 on Twitch, bro. That's great.
Someone
That's
came
great
by
content.
like, what the fuck is this? Club Penguin? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just I was checking, and that's often the thing. Like, I'll get, you're playing these dumbass cartoon games. What do you want me to play? Some horror? I'm not trying to get scared. I'm not trying to play some business tycoon.
You know,
I'm playing a game. You know, I'm playing a game. So I'm gonna play the cartoon shit. I'm gonna play a cartoon fighter. I'm gonna play something cartoony because I'm just having fun.
I like that, dude. You get like in the face of like a game that is conventionally not popular, you're like, fuck it. Like if I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna play it for real.
I mean, I have homies that play like the what's a serial killer game where you run
Dead by
around
Daylight?
Yeah, like I'm not trying to be scared. Like I don't want to role play a serial killer or role play a serial killer survivor. Like I want to be Bugs Bunny and throw pies at people and throw rockets and shit. You know, like
as long as you don't play LeBron James in multiverses, that guy's fucking toxic, bro. That guy is toxic.
I mean, he's a professional athlete, so what do you expect?
That's right. I'm Finn, just a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, how do you expect him to be a professional athlete? That's Finn. That's crazy.
That perfect segue. I love this. Speaking of LeBron and professional athleticism, basketball. You are a gigantic fan of basketball, and this is a small treat. I wanted to say this one to the end for the real ones. The name Flex Chapman comes from this guy. So originally I used to go by the name Corvos_. That was my name for a very long time. And that was just a name that I had from World of Warcraft, from this old guild, Corvos Money Pit. Roost, I had a conversation with him. Again, just one of those conversations where maybe we haven't talked in a while and I'm just like, hey, random person, I got some shit to talk to you about. And so I'm like, I'm thinking about rebranding. I have these different names and blah, blah, blah. And, my name that I picked at the time was Flex Jones. And I was like 100% dead set on Flex Jones. I already made the logos and shit. And I bring it up to him for some opinions. I'm like, what do you think about this rebrand, right? And he's like, hey, man, there's a basketball player, Rex Chapman. What if you were Flex Chapman? And bro, I'm telling you, it sounded like an angel from the Bible just come down and spoke the gospel to me. I started shaking and resonating in my seat. It was incredible. And immediately, I didn't even change the graphics. It changed on their own. Just the universe, like the split timeline converged, and now Flex Chapman was born. And it was really cool to kind of have that origin story to my name and my brand. And so you've been a fan of basketball for a very long time. Is that just something maybe from your dad, maybe something from your youth? I see it in your content a lot too. I mean, even one last thing. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you again. If you guys have not seen a stream intro, that is a fucking. I'll see if I can get it to put up on the video later for like the people on YouTube. If you haven't seen a stream intro, it's a doozy, and I love it. I love it. So yeah, please run me through basketball, please.
When you find that, I'll find the spaghetti picture. So
yes.
We can kill two birds with one stone. So I have like 4 brain cells working at any time.
Okay.
And so when you came to me with Flex, my brain just like, all right, what can we rhyme this with, or what's funny? You know, how can we take Flex with it? And Flex rhymes with Rex, obviously. So Rex Chapman, I'm a huge Suns fan. Rex Chapman, he played for the Suns back in the day, and I used to play with his son actually, Zeke.
Oh
So
shit, really?
yeah. So I knew I didn't know
Well,
Rex,
name
but
drop.
yeah. You know, I've been to Rex Chapman's house, but no. So when he said that to me, my brain, T-Rex, Jack. You know, I so just basketball when get connected. I thought that, and so I love that you loved it because it just I felt like it was perfect. It was what you were looking for, and you know, you're a big dude, so Flex is cool. I fuck with that, and you know. So but yeah, bro, I've played basketball. I spent too much on this dumbass game, and I've ever like so.
Are you good? You play?
I wouldn't say I'm good. I mean, I could put the ball in the basket every now and then, but
You got the
I
LA
lived at
Fitness
this.
going nuts.
I'm the last pick. Anybody who's available.
I know Rex Chapman. Trust me.
Yo, look me. So, yeah. Basically, I don't know. I lived at these apartments that were across the street from a Parkside something. And so my dad, shout out to Jeff Gordon, driving through the neighborhood. So I would always go, like my dad would take me to the park and he would tell me these stories because I don't remember, but he was like, you were just so, you're a little dude, 5, 6 years old, and like adults were hooping or shooting around. I'd be like, yo, can I play? Can I join you? So I guess I just always loved playing basketball, like just since I was a young dude. And so I'm from Arizona, so I have to love Arizona sports. Suns are really have a special place in my heart.
I know the feeling. Go Bills, man. That's my team.
And yeah, so I mean, I love basketball. At this point, I was over to get mad at you. You know, we were kissing at this point. we were kissing at this point. So yeah, bro. When I thought about what you're looking for your next, I don't know, thing, your next chapter, and what do I love? Basketball. How can I relate that? And it just made sense. So I'm honored, bro. It means it sounds goofy, but I don't know. It's almost like you name a kid something and then they just like go out and you're like, that's my guy. That's Flex Chapman, man. Like that. So I'm super proud of everything that you do, but it means a little more that you know. I was reluctant to take your advice, and you were not reluctant to take mine. So,
well, it's just like, this is what I love about like different creative minds and like different things, because two people looking at the exact same thing are going to have two completely different lenses of looking at it. And if I would have never sent you a DM, I would have just been Flex Jones, and this would be a different conversation. Like this, it's just incredible how those little like. You look at like a brain and how it has like the neurological synapses and like tiny connections that make a thought. But you think about how those like how the real world has those just weird connections, like little things that you never knew are going to have the chain reaction they did. One game of Fortnite and Flex Chapman is born like years later. And it's like this, like who fucking, you know what I mean? Like that kind of transition is just so amazing to me looking at it from like the wider picture. I love that, man.
Incredible, just cherry on top of what you're saying is I would not have got into streaming or done any of this. I was playing a random game of Fortnite and I met a dude that lives 3 hours away in Kingman, Arizona. And we just grew this friendship where the dude was like, you know what? I'm building a computer. I know that you play on some shit laptop and you need an upgrade. So if you want to drive here, let's meet at a Denny's. Let me give you this.
No way, so that's amazing.
It's so many organic moments just happen that are just so impactful that you just don't ever expect. That would never happen if you don't, for lack of a better term, put yourself out there. If you're not open to it. Yeah. So if you're not willing to, you know, see outside the box or put yourself out there or whatever, then sometimes what can happen won't.
It's easy to woe is me your life away, unfortunately. And I've done it. You know, there's so many like woe is me moments where things aren't working out and you look around and they're working out for other people. And you're absolutely right. You have to be willing to look for those kinds of things. And it sounds fucking hippy dippy, but like manifestation, just like genuinely thinking about positive things, trying to be positive and trying to put that out in the world and doing so, not expecting anything. That's when it comes. Like that's like when you're just not even really doing it for any other purpose, just besides like the greater good, just your own sense of righteousness.
Exactly. And there has been so many, I don't know how to word this, like thoughts I've had of, do I do this? I don't necessarily want to, but I can see there might be some type of benefits or some. I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna send that message. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna whatever, and let's see what happens. And
God,
sometimes nothing does, and sometimes something really incredible happens.
that's a fantastic way of putting it. Content creation is a road of let's see what happens. You know what I mean? It's really just a road of like, you know, press go live. Let's see what happens. You put out merch. Let's see what happens. You know, put out a video. Let's see what happens. And you really just got to keep trying shit.
That's the only way to figure this stuff out, because you can't. I don't know. There's this weird stigma, for lack of a better term, of like, yo, let me watch this. Let me watch Ninja's masterclass or whatever. Like, how did you? It's just you can't replicate what. It's just not the same, you know. So you got to figure out. Well, let me try this. What does this work? Nope. Well, let me try the exact opposite. Did that work? Nope. Well, let's plan C, plan D, and how bad you want it depends on how far you're going to go in the alphabet, I guess.
That replication point's really important because I feel like there is a big delineation from replication exact and replication in essence, right? So, like, replication exact is Mr. Beast gave $1,000 to a homeless person, so you use the same thumbnail and you give $1,000 to a homeless person. And the video segmented the same way and you try to do that. Like, when I feel like you get into the essence, it's looking at like, okay, let's watch the actual edit of the video, right? Like at 6 seconds, they cut away. At 7 seconds, something popped up onto the screen. How'd they do that transition? How'd they do that and why, right? That's where it's no longer like, I'm not copying Mr. Beast, but I'm looking at the fundamentals that led to success. And then I'm applying those to my content in the way that I can apply them. That's vastly different because there are people, and you've known them, I've known them. You meet people who get successful, and this is gonna sound like the most hater thing ever, but I'm sorry, somebody has to say it, they don't deserve it. They stumbled into it, right? Maybe they copied something and it worked for them or whatever. And then you see a year later that they're way further than they were because they didn't know how to ride the momentum because they didn't actually earn it. They just kind of happened onto it and then they're back to it. I knew this guy who was partnered getting thousands of viewers who's getting 20, and it's like, you don't do that. I know how you got to 1,000 now and you don't even have to tell me. I already know. You did something to just gain. Yeah, you just did something to gain them. And now you don't have it. I wonder why. Yeah.
Now, what happened? You know? So no, I completely get that. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, if you are in your moment and you got these people around, cool. Like, love that for you. But at the same time, when they drop off and when that, you know, were you doing something, or were you in the right place at the right time?
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, man. There's like 3 more things I want to ask you, but I do want to get to the question. So all
right, one more, and then we'll get to the questions.
We'll do 2 quick ones. Okay. So one we've already talked about for most of the stream. We talked about the social media thing, and you don't do social media. I really did want to dig into this further, but I just want to ask you, since we've kind of touched upon it a few times during the stream, has your view on it changed? Is it something you're willing to consider, or is it something that you still just appreciate your approach and maybe in the future?
So I completely understand the importance of social media and how, I mean, there's people that would not even know that this is happening unless you tweeted about it. So it is super, super important. This is gonna sound wrong, but
There's
just
no wrong.
over the years, no, there's no right way to put this, but over the years, I have just gone on Facebook, I've gone on Twitter, I've gone on Instagram, and I just don't care. Like I don't care what vacation you're on. I don't care how many kids you've had. I just don't care. So when I think about what the fuck would I post that anybody else would care about? Like, so it's not right. Because there's people that love that stuff, that live for what's Flex got going on today? What's he tweeting about? What's he eating? There's people that love that, but I'm just so stuck in the you have your life, I have mine. You could care less if I'm eating empanadas tonight. Like you don't give a damn about, like there's just so there's a time I just haven't been able to balance there. Some people can do it. Like they can post their stream stuff and they can post a picture here and there. Like they have a nice balance, but I haven't been able to figure out
your approach
what
to it
matters. Yeah. Like what I can post that people care about and what they don't.
We could definitely talk more about this after stream, because I would really, I mean, at least just me as somebody who's a fan of you, I would at least like to see your attempt at maybe my approach to it, where it's just kind of post and ghost and don't really care. Because I think that when you get into the game of social media of like, let's keep up with the Joneses and let's keep up on trends and let's keep up with that stuff, I don't give a fuck. I have no interest in it. I'm not on Twitter, like scrolling through Twitter. I'm on Twitter to say like, hey, I'm going live, right? Like, here's some cool shit I'm working on. I go on TikTok not to watch it, but just to post a clip from my stream. And it doesn't have to be edited well. It's just a clip from my stream. It's just, it doesn't matter if it's the best or the worst. It's just a chance for new eyes to maybe find you. That's the only way I see it.
And I love the post and ghost because, bro, if I posted something, I would be like, 10 minutes later, what? You said what? You hold on, but my 90s aren't crisp. I would be like so defensive over everything that I gotta adapt that mentality.
It's the same, like it's the same thing as like Twitch, right? Because your first few posts are going to be duds and that's just it. And you have to be like, all right, for like maybe 40 posts, I'm just gonna eat shit and I'm okay with that. Like I'm just gonna eat shit for 40 posts and then 41 might be better, right? But I don't even check my numbers. I just put the stuff up there, and sometimes when I'm posting another one, oh, that one's at 1,000, cool. Like I'm glad they got 1,000 views. I'm not looking into the numbers to actually check. It's just like I just send the shit because at the end of the day, kind of the same thing that we talked about earlier. It's hard with relationships. It's hard to justify not watching a movie because you're doing a 4-hour stream, but it's easier when it pays off a bit more and there's like the work and everything that goes into it is visible. But again, that's something that I think is really good for all creators to know. Me and Roostie are people who, arguably on Twitch, I'd say we've, maybe we hold similar viewer counts, similar community sizes, right? He doesn't post at all. I post daily. You know what I mean? You don't have to do it either way. One might help, one might not help, but it's not a rule. It's just something that could help you or couldn't. And I think everyone's approach is completely different. All right, so then the final thing that I wanted to touch upon really quickly was Trovo. So I wanted to touch upon that just a really like a dollop. I switched to Mixer. I left Twitch as well, right? You switched and you were streaming elsewhere on other platforms. And I think a lot of people had that same idea of just going to a platform that you felt like gave you your best chance at exposure, perhaps, or maybe the best tools to do what you want to do. So if you just want to briefly talk about maybe one thing you loved about that decision and maybe one thing that you don't love about that decision looking back, and just maybe how that affected you.
Love that. So I've heard you refer to it as that a couple of times. Was that when I joined it was Theta TV? And then it was Sliver. So
you're right. I'm mistaken. You're
okay. I just want to make sure.
Trovo was one of those similar. I think I mistake it because the logos were similar or whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
Sliver. Yeah.
All right. So we mentioned earlier. I think everyone gets to this point where they're like, "What do I do?" Like, this shit kind of feels stagnant. Like, as I mentioned, I'm not going to upgrade my webcam and get more viewers. I'm not going to. What do I do? Am I not in front of the right people? Am I not? should I? So
Yeah.
I like the idea that Theta or whatever it's called now, viewers would get rewarded being in the chat. They would get crypto that they could either gift to you as a streamer, like bits, or they could cash out for themselves. So my thought process was like, damn, if no one's gonna watch me on Twitch, maybe they'll watch me to earn some type of crypto and benefit themselves.
Yeah.
Which, in hindsight, I probably would have never done if I could go back. And why I say that is I didn't realize how many people I let down. I didn't realize how many people go into I don't use Kick or whatever Mixer at the time. Like I never use those services.
Yeah.
So if my favorite streamer went to there, I might download it to watch them, but I'm not that.
There's a point where the niceness of wanting to support somebody is outweighed by the inconvenience of a new platform.
Like, bro, I love you, but I'm not doing this. I'm not this, that download this, it's a lot. And I didn't think about that. I just thought it's a new URL. Just instead of typing twitch.tv/Roostie, type sliver.tv/Roostie. Like, let's just go to a different, and there's more to it. It's not, and I had people try to tell me that. I had people try to warn me, like, yo, think about everything. And I didn't. I didn't consider every angle, and I saw, well, this is a new pond. I'm not the biggest fish in this pond. Let me be the biggest fish in that pond.
Nobody is. Yeah.
And nobody is. And it's not, if nobody is going to watch you on channel 35, no one's going to watch you on channel 37. You know, it doesn't matter what channel you change.
It's the content.
It's the content. So Twitch is obviously the biggest streaming platform service. So if I'm on network cable, not getting viewers, and I go to some niche Amazon video, you know. So, but that didn't hit me until years and years later. So yeah, I wouldn't have done that if I could do it again.
I feel the same fucking way with Mixer, dude. Trust me, I really do. You know, I thought about the Mixer thing in hindsight, and the same thing's kind of happening with Kick right now. And so this is something I think a lot of content creators should really pay mind to, right? I'm not telling you to not go to Kick, and I'm not telling you to not go to YouTube or other platforms. What I'm telling you is this. Be sure about your morals, right? Be sure about everything, right? There's different platforms that offer different things. But exactly what you said, it's always going to be content first. It's always going to be about the content that you're putting out first, more than it's going to be about anything else. And if you're putting out a show that people are just not really as vested in, then it's just going to it doesn't matter what you do. You could dye your mustache red. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to watch. So it really is that. And there's this gap that's created when people rush to a platform on Twitch. If you think about when Mixer came out, what happened from before Mixer came out to after Mixer came out, right? So before Mixer, there was the big four of Ninja, Tim, Nick Merckx, and like Tfue or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then there was like, obviously, Asmongold and like Reckful for World of Warcraft. There was like big streamers, but they all had their sections. Mm-hmm. When Ninja and Shroud left into the biggest FPS things, and a lot of people went to Mixer, Ludwig, Hassan, everybody who played Among Us, everybody who was into those trends that were still on Twitch while Mixer existed immediately had a much higher stake in the company, because there are people that no matter how big you are, you could be XQC and get $100 million to go over a Kick. And there's half of his audience who is just going to find somebody else on Twitch. Because the Twitch platform is what you're used to. You go on to Twitch. You're already following 100 people. You know how the sub works. You have Twitch Prime, so you never even pay for a sub for your favorite content creator. You're just having this time, and then you consider that there's these other platforms and things, and like, sure, there's no big fish in that pond, but you are joining something that is so cutthroat, where it's not about community and camaraderie, but about bringing everybody down. Now, this might sound kind of counterintuitive because I'm going to be moving this podcast to back and forth between Twitch and Kick. I want to bring on Kick content creators. I want to interview them because I think there's a big market for that. And there's some questions to be asked. Why'd you move to Kick, right? I think you're going to find some real good dirt about people, not in a negative way, but just to understand their motivations. What kind of a position do you have to be in? That seems like if I got to interview you before you moved over, you know what I mean? Like, imagine how that interview goes. Yeah, this new platform is going to be great for me. I'm going to have all these opportunities and viewers earn money and it's awesome. Like, I want to get to that to put that message out there for people. So I think that's good. But at the end of the day, again, 1, focus on your content. That's number 1. And 2, just really consider the benefit of the platform for the community. Not what's going to make you the most money as a streamer, but what's going to be the best opportunity for your viewers to enjoy your content. Where is it best?
And I think about it as in like, if you don't stream or you're not like a consistent Twitch viewer or whatever, like let's say you go to your favorite state carnival every year or whatever, and there's a certain ride that you love, that Ferris wheel you love. You might they take that Ferris, you go there 7 years, 8 years in a row, 9th year they take the Ferris wheel off. You might go to the other festival that has a Ferris wheel one time, but you're coming back.
Yeah.
To the fair the next year because that's what you do, you know. That's
the fair is gonna suck without the roller coaster, but I'm still going.
But
to
it's
the
still
fair.
there.
Yeah,
but it's still there, you know. But it's just what people are in such a routine, and that's what they do. That if you're not exceptional, they're not going to change their fair, you know, plans completely. In moving forward, we're going across the country to it just doesn't work like that.
Some will, right? There's always going to be the people. If Judge Judy goes from channel 8 to channel 6, there's some motherfuckers who are turning to channel 6 because they need their Judge Judy. But some people just like channel 8. It's already on their TV when they turn it on. It's the only channel they leave on. So if Judge Judy's not on, guess I'm gonna have to get used to this new show.
I'll find a new judge.
That's it. Yeah, that's it, man.
I'll find a new judge.
That's awesome.
And sometimes that happens.
So everything I have for you, Roos, gone. All the questions are gone. So now we are into the open range. Everybody, if you are in chat, this is something I like to do. Lurkers, wake up.
What up, chat?
Lurkers, if you are lurking in the background, wake up. It is your time to engage. We are bringing you in. If you guys are sleeping, if you are watching on the second monitor, if you are watching from your phone and it's in the car and you're driving, and you're like, I really shouldn't be looking at my phone while I'm driving, but this part's the only part where we're going to engage with you. Now's the time. Find a parking spot. We're going to talk. Comtix was awesome in sending me a list of all the questions on Discord. I was going to pull that up on my phone because I can't use Discord computer because I have the Discord view for the camera. So let me go grab my phone. I'm going to pull up these questions and we're going to get going. Lurkers, wake up. If you guys have other questions to ask that we're not already, now is the time. Where did I put my
Lurkers,
phone?
wake the hell up now.
Thank you, Bob.
But for real, I want to have a second. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are incredible people.
Alrighty, so I have a big list
Gordon.
from Comtix of questions, which is going to be good. We have people coming back, so let's not worry about it. We got plenty to ask. We asked this one at the start, so it's going to be in the YouTube video, but you know what? I'm going to ask it anyway. How was your day, and what did you eat? That came from Jeep.
Let's see. So I mentioned I had some yogurt earlier.
And by the way, these are for kind of both of us. It's open discourse, so we just talk about everything. But continue.
Little yogurt. I was telling Flex about I had some spaghetti from this food truck that now that he says it, spaghetti. That's kind of a crazy idea. It's kind of a crazy idea. But it said new, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. That it just was so bland. Like, I feel like food trucks are either so incredible, like obviously this is why you went into business, or it's like, what? How do you keep coming back? Like who is buying this?
They survive off of first time
people like me. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They get it right, dude. But food trucks are starting to get a little cocky with them prices for some of their food, man. It'll be like $16 for half a sub, and you're like, listen, motherfucker.
For what?
Yes,
seriously,
dude. Food trucks are getting a little out of hand. Next question. How do you decide what to stream? As somebody with ADHD, I always find myself struggling to find stuff to play on stream because I kind of want to do everything. I'll let you take this one. You tend to do a bit more variety than me now. So.
Um, you got to keep in mind my mindset of my goals, and if I had these same type of metrics of doing a certain amount of videos, or my previous worst example of having, I want to get 10 more followers or whatever, like that might motivate me to play whatever games a little more popular at the time, to just Roblox BattleBit, whatever is popular right now, let me fire that up. I'm gonna get 10 random viewers a stream, maybe one's gonna follow me. But if they follow and then they see me stream the next day and it's not what they want to play, then they're probably not going to come back. So I don't play anything I don't want to play, because I don't want people to be there for the game, if that makes sense. And I mean, some people are going to be there for the game. Obviously, they're going to click whatever I'm streaming. Oh, who's this dude? Let's see what's going on. He plays this, but I hope that I can give you the type of experience that you would have just as much fun if I played something else, or if I did something else. So I try to not make it about what I'm playing, because that's irrelevant. We can play whatever, we can watch whatever, but if you're there and I'm there, then we'll have fun. So I would think less about, at least that's how I go about it. I don't care what's the most popular game. Because at the same time, I know that the people that are playing the most popular games, they're established. Everyone's going to click on them. So the chances of me getting seen at the bottom of the list are even that much less.
True. Yeah. That tags on to another question, and I'll get to that one in a second. But just to throw my 2 cents into that ring, I think it's really funny because you mentioned like you don't want people there for the game, and I actually chose an approach with Diablo where I kind of did want people. I actually only wanted people who were interested in Diablo to kind of start to find my community. And I don't get me wrong, I tanked my viewers. I went from maybe 20 plus to like 3, and that's okay because I'm looking to cast a net to catch Diablo viewers, right? I'm not looking to catch Cooking Mama viewers or Fortnite viewers. True. I want Diablo viewers, but I try to do a good job to get to your second point, which is I want you to enjoy my content, whether it's Diablo or whether it's Liv and I cooking, or whether it's me doing just chatting, or whether it's me playing Only Up, or whether it's me doing a podcast with Roost, right? These are all things that are completely different content that still show me. And one of my biggest weak points was I spent so much time trying to be a better streamer and not enough time trying to be a better Flex Chapman, right? I could be the person who has the voice, and I could announce, and I could just be like, hey guys, oh my God, it's Flex Chapman. We're going to be playing Fortnite Creative today. We're going to get a bunch of people in, and it's like, that's not fucking me. I don't give a fuck about that guy. Like,
love that.
I want to be more me and find that audience. Find the audience that actually gives a fuck about me, not the me I'm presenting, but me, right? The best version of me. And if that has to mean I play Diablo and I'm streaming to 3 people, well, those are the fucking only 3 people I want there right then.
Those are the people that we want around.
That's it.
Exactly. No, because I mean, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but I feel like anytime I click something like that, it's hello YouTube, what, hit the like, and like, bro, what? It's every video sounds the exact same. So I'm not there for you. I'm there because this is what's in, and I don't want to be what's in. I want to be what's out. I want people to come around because that's just what they like. I love that. SpongeBob ain't on the air. I don't have cable, but I'm watching SpongeBob because that's what I like.
Oh my God, the SpongeBob jokes are great, dude. One tattoo that I still want to get in my life is Doodle Bob. I would really like to get a Doodle Bob. That's my fucking guy. Ni hao Bob. Like, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Ni That's fucking, I love it, dude.
That's the best example I got.
Now
you like what they like, and we'll go back to that.
You answered this one already in kind of the last question, so I'll just touch upon it pretty quickly for us here. But, how do you feel about streaming games on release day? Do you take advantage of the high viewership, or do you stay away from it from the crowdedness of the category? Do you care if I just throw something in there about this really quickly before you go? On release days only count if you're going to create more content with it. Other than that, it doesn't mean shit to anybody. Either you're going to be the person who plays that game for 36 hours straight, so you stand out that way, or you're the person who in the first 3 hours has a video on YouTube that's fully edited, right? If you're not one of those two guys, don't even fucking bother. Unless you really like that game for yourself, right? Because there's gonna be a guy who gets a YouTube video and a TikTok out in an hour, reviewing every fucking thing about the game, and he's gonna spoil everything. And then there's going to be you go on to Twitch to watch it, and there's Tim the Tap Man who's never even played a fucking ARPG, who's just fucking, oh, the fuck, and he's just barreling through because he's gonna get 20,000 viewers whether he goes live showing his fucking ass cheeks. It doesn't matter, right? So the game, like day of release games, I feel like are only important if the game's important to you and if you actually have hype behind them within your community. And I would say the number one thing is you have to try to stand out, because if you just play the game, then what's the point? Just don't even stream. Don't click go live. Just enjoy the game yourself. Just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
I couldn't have said it better, because let's think about this. Either you're gonna watch who you like, or you're out to discover someone new. So XYZ game just came out, and everybody under the sun is going to play that. So you're going to click through. You're trying to find someone new. I'm going to click Flex, give him 30 seconds. Don't like him. Click Roos, give him 30 seconds. Don't like him. So there's a billion people playing that exact game with 100,000 viewers, 20,000 viewers, 5 viewers. Everybody on the sun. If you don't make an immediate impression, you have no chance. So I would rather not be in that category of where I have to immediately impress you because you're clicking. Think about how many times I don't have cable, but think about if you do, or if you had it as a kid, just like clicking the remote. Nope, don't like this. Nope, not this. Oh, this is a cat. I'm gonna watch this. Nope, don't like that. That's the exact way that people on Twitch are. Let me click this dude. And they don't have to be nice. Red mustache.
They don't know you shit.
Nope. Don't like this guy. Has glasses. It's for whatever reason. Like each person is their own. So if I'm on cable network and I have to grab somebody's attention in a 10-second time frame, I'm probably breathing out my nose for 10 seconds. Like I have a 10-second window that I'm blowing. So I'm not going to get your attention that quickly. But if you're just like, hold on, he's streaming, I don't know,
Club
Vampire
Penguin.
Survivor. Yeah, Club Penguin. What's this all about? Why is he doing this? Does he like the game? Is he worth watching? Does he have something to provide? I think you'll give that person maybe a little more time.
Yeah.
Than
Now this is also, I know we've touched upon this a lot, so don't take this as I'm aiming this one at you, but one thing that I would say as well to that is if you're going to play a game on release, absolutely put content out there of it just on YouTube, even if it's just the VOD. Because the thing about it is on Twitch, when you press end stream, if you do not do anything with that content, it is gone. You have just threw 4 hours out, right? Unless you were there for the stream and you watched it live and you got to enjoy it, that content is now in the garbage, right? No one's ever going to see that again. No one even knows it existed. Your funniest joke is in the abyss. No one's going to know that happened. And if you're somebody who played, let's say you play a game on release and you stumble upon some shit that nobody else did, and that Twitch VOD is just sitting in the graveyard, what if you have that thing, that viral thing that nobody has seen, and you're like, holy shit, what if I fucking... So if you're going to do it, take all the steps to do it right, or just don't do it, right? Because you're going to stress yourself out that nobody cares, but all signs point to nobody should care, right? And that's just the truth of it.
Yeah, I think that everybody gets in this dilemma of like, how do I grow and yada yada that we've already talked about. And so, one idea, I'm not playing in an important enough game, a populated game. Diablo's coming out. Let me jump to that. Again, if nobody want to watch you play Cartoon Fighter, or nobody want to watch you play Super Smash, or nobody want to watch you play Just Chatting, I don't think you jump in to the most popular game. What do you give to people besides the game, which 1,000 other streamers are also providing? What do you give besides them?
Yeah. Yeah, why? Like, I asked that question. I got a lot of hate for it before, and I ended up deleting the tweet when I was younger because it was a genuine question that I asked somebody the one time, and they were talking about like how, you know, they really worked hard on something or whatever, and something else had happened, and I forgot what made me post about it, but I was just like, why should they watch you and not me? And it wasn't meant to be like me specifically, but it was genuinely like a question. Like I was thinking, like I asked myself about them. Why is, like, if me and Roostie are live, what makes somebody click me over him? That's not in a competitive way. It's just how you should think about it, right? What am I bringing to the table? That actually answers, I was just looking, there's a question that says, what makes your content stand out from others? That was one of the questions I was asked. And I think that kind of talks about it. It's like, you have to ask yourself that question, you know? I'll let you answer that, but what is your niche? If there's a million people playing Call of Duty, there's 500,000 of those million who are guys. There's 250,000 of them that are your age and they have a setup with lights and everything in their background. There's 100,000 of those who have the exact same kind of setup as you. There's 50,000 that are better than you. 25,000 that are fucking better looking. There are 10,000 who are rich and so they can do better things. There's
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's just this crazy fucking funnel. There's that many other people playing the game. So then, what? You know, why? Why click you?
It.
So not you, but yes, you get it. But continue, please, or go off if you will.
No, I love that. I get it. And as I don't want to say negative because it's not a negative question, but as tough of a question as that is, I don't want that to discourage people from being like, holy shit, there's a billion streamers. What can I do? Or there's a billion, like anything is truly possible if you are willing to. Any of you listening to this can do anything that you want, including you, Flex.
Absolutely.
And I know I told you this. You can do anything that you want to. You can accomplish anything if you're willing to put an effort. So, I don't know. I just try to. I know that any game that I'm gonna play, there's gonna be someone with more viewers. There's gonna be someone with a bigger audience.
Absolutely.
There's nothing I can do about that. But I'm gonna do my best. That if you're gonna spend some time with me, I'm gonna try to make it worthwhile. You know, I care that you're there. So if you're gonna spend 30 seconds with me, then let's spend 30 seconds. Tell me, let's talk about what you want to talk about. If you have a thought you want to share, let's share it. If you don't say anything, then hopefully we have a cool 30 seconds in silence. But just everybody has so much stuff going on and so much shit to juggle that I'm repeating myself, but I'm not the best at anything, and I know that. I know that you're not coming for any reason whatsoever. So if I can make just our encounter cool, if we can take your mind off of something, or if I can make you laugh, or if I can make you think about that spaghetti that you ate that was shit because of, like, let's
absolutely.
We're all living this life together. So
God, I wish you could see the way that I view you, man. It's really incredible. I say this and I want to make this begrudgingly clear. God obliterate me if I'm lying right now. I swear. I think everybody. I know. I just died. But I look at so many fucking people, and it's not like people. A lot of people call me liars. I look at people like, damn, that person objectively I view as better than me, but I view it better in a way that, like, I want to understand why that person's better than me. My favorite people in the world are people who excel at something I have no fucking idea about, so that I can ask them, how are you doing that? You know, how are you so naturally, like, fucking, for example, dude, like you said, the first thing you say as soon as we're fucking starting the stream is like something about flexecution. And I'm like, God damn, that'd be sick for like a fucking sound effect. Like I kill someone in a game and I have a sound button that's just flexecution. And I'm like, that's fucking like that just came out of you on accident. Like just like a thing that, and I look at you and you're just like, you're somebody who turns a fucking random sentence, and I'm dying watching your shit. I'm laughing my ass off. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I am so worried about the wrong things, obviously, because I enjoy watching this. But then you might watch me and be like, damn, why am I not doing that or whatever? And it's just like the whole point of finding your niche is so valuable because, like he said, you can do everything. You can do anything. I firmly believe that it requires an absolute demand of you to address the hard truths and ask yourself the hard questions and be willing to look into the suck. Everybody who is good at what they do and all the people I love say the same thing. My shit sucks. They always look at their own content, or whatever they're making, a woodworking, like, my stuff sucks. You should be watching somebody else, but I'm really grateful. And it's because it requires that level of listen, I know I'm not where I want to be, but I know I could get better. That is going to allow you. If you feel like, damn, I got this, you don't. You're probably so far from getting it. And it's so important to see people who you look up to kind of almost in a way, it's not good, but it's almost good to see the people you look up to tear themselves down because you realize that they're just a human too. We're all just humans. We just happen to have a camera and press go live. That's the only fucking difference. That's really it. And your niche, could be being the nicest person. You never swear. You're just a kind, gentle person. You could be the person who does rage with the shitty mic and it crumbles and you're fucking whatever. You're raging at Fortnite and whatever. But if you just tap into it and you realize it's working, go for it. Experiment. Have some fun, go ahead. Sorry.
You make an incredible point that it's hard to describe because you say incredible things and you've said incredible things. This isn't new. You've been this guy. You've always been encouraging. You've always said this. And vice versa. I feel, and probably not to the same extent, but I've tried to tell you you got it, but there's just something that just, I don't know. We're all humans at the same time. And so it's hard to think, who wants, I say this all the time, who wants to watch me? What am I doing, bro? What do I have to offer? But there's genuine common people like you that want to be there, that I want to be there for you. So I just think as creators, sometimes it's hard to get that.
It is. I definitely found that it is nice to look at the people who do support your community, even if it is one or two people at any given time, as just they don't have to, right? Nobody has to. So the fact that they do is enough for you to show up at least, right? And figure it out. Because if even two people are just damn, I think that you have it, then you need to just start maybe even just ask them, what do you see, right? What's the part that made you enjoy? Look for feedback, ask content creators around you, ask friends, what is right and what is wrong? And some people might give you some bullshit advice. You're like, well, hey, at least thank you for your input. And some people might actually tell you hey, you're fucking gain on your lights off, bud. Figure out the gain and you'll be proper. There's people who will do different sides of all aspects of it. So it's just definitely rely on people and definitely be open to looking at yourself, not like you, but look at yourself like you're watching you and figure out why you would watch you.
Please, anybody listening, use me as an example, as someone that has people coming out to you like Flex, trying to help, and you are so caught up in your own shit that you just initially, so just try not to, because nobody coming at you trying to help improve whatever you're doing. There's people to use your example, you lift, you're into fitness, you can be like, yo, bro, what the fuck are you eating? Here's this and that. Don't. And I'd be like, what the, bro, I'm going to eat that shit.
Yeah, I'm talking about
yeah, exactly. Don't, but until I understand it, you're not being an asshole. You care about people. You're trying to improve someone that you care about's life. That it just, and again, I can only speak for myself, but it's so what do you know? It's not that. It's that people like you. People want to help you improve. And
absolutely, yeah. It's hard to see. I mean, I'm sure me and you can both say we've probably missed opportunities before that were even just you see somebody who's doing something pretty cool with their content, but you're sipping on a little haterade because you're just Who fucking cares? They got a couple viewers because they're holding a fucking Fortnite event. Fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like, no, maybe be like, yo, how are you running that Fortnite event? Fucking let's talk about it a little bit and try to understand just the fundamentals because there's something you're going to pull out of that lesson. All right,
maybe those people needed that. Maybe whatever he's doing, those people that I'm tuned in for the first time, but his viewers or her viewers were, please, there's so much that just goes into it that it's so easy to come in and not know and just make assumptions.
Absolutely. So I just want to do one more because we're at 2 hours and 40 minutes. This has been my longest and favorite one yet. I'm sorry for you because I didn't set a time expectation, but I've just been having a good time. This has been fucking awesome. No, dude, I would do this again. Like I would do another. Like I could keep going. There's actually I'm actually working on that too. This is obviously for well in the future. I'm not going to have you back next week, but I'm working with an older guest at creating a revisit. Like a potential revisit that isn't tailored around the 5 questions, but maybe tailored around like, what are some things that have changed since last time? Like what are some things that might be you're doing or whatever, what's working, what's not working. And I think that'll be a cool platform to bounce off of. But the final question that I'll ask that we had from chat is, I'm just trying to pick a good one because there's a couple of them here. All right, we'll do this one and this will be the last one. I'll put my phone away. Is there ever a reality where you're not streaming, where maybe you're just doing YouTube or maybe you're pursuing content a different way, or do you feel like streaming is going to be it and that's the way that you'd like to succeed?
I took a long time off. Now that we talk about that, so I was pretty, consistent, for lack of a better term, pre-COVID and everything happened and yada yada. So I don't know. I can't say there's not going to be a time that I'll never stream again because I have to stop sometime. But I don't know. I have no intentions to move to any platforms after what I said. I love trying to meet people organically, and the people that come around, they keep coming around and they somehow attract other people and we somehow attract other people. So the time's gonna come eventually and I will be sad. But at the same time, I hope that I've made connections enough that like if I was your guy, for lack of a better term, if I helped you, if you were going to work every day, you're watching me, and I was what was getting you through your work day. Like I hope that you came to the Discord, you hit me up. Like I'm not too cool for anybody. So anybody can message me, anybody can reach out. I'm nobody. So I just would hope that if I was that dude for somebody and it came to an end, that they needed me, if they would reach out or whatever.
Yeah.
So it'll happen eventually. But when that time comes, I hope that I've made other avenues available for those who need me.
Absolutely. And in Roostie's words directly quoting him, fuck Kick, fuck YouTube, we're staying on Twitch. It ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going home, but we ain't getting the hell up out of here.
It might be a slight misquote, man. Well, Roostie, man, feel free to stay in the Discord after this ends, just to obviously wind down. But I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you guys for the bits. Thank you, Comptix, for coordinating the questions. Thank you guys for the subs. Thank you for just even watching. This will be up on YouTube. Hopefully, I'll have it up either tomorrow or the day after if I can just run through the brief edit. These are easy to edit. Just cut out the big gaps and then just paste it all together. So, no real work, that has to go into that. Roostie, thank you so much for your fucking time, your input, your patience, your fucking humor, the name Flex Chapman, and many other things I'm sure I'll be thanking you for throughout my lifetime. I appreciate it. You guys can find him, obviously, in the only place, twitch.tv/Roostie. Any parting words?
Yo, bro, thank you for everything. Your friendship, your kindness. Let me on your show. I'll be honest, I didn't give enough attention to these content, clubhouse, everything. It's cool. it gives people that want to know a little, I don't know, avenue into these other people's lives. So I love you. I love everyone that tuned in. I appreciate you guys. You're incredible. I'm Roost, and love you, Flex. Appreciate that.
Love you too, man.